Welcome to another episode of Good Earners Reviewing the Sopranos. And here on Good Earners, we like to talk about family, finessing, finances, and feelings in the world of Tony Soprano, bringing you a new perspective, a fly perspective, and a black perspective. Y'all know me as one of the big three on this thing. Maurice Hunter III, aka Mo. I'm here with my two capos, Spike Lou, Big Rich Town. Fellas, how y'all feeling?
Well, you know, what do you say?
Man, doing well, man. We're here. Begrudgingly, maybe. But we're here. Can't have a Good Earner Sopranos podcast about. Yeah, man. We gotta do this for better or for worse. We gotta talk about Many Saints in Newark. It's only right. It's only
right. Have to? Do we have to?
Motto.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that, it's like that. It's like that. It's like that kid that Pops had. Nobody really want to talk about or acknowledge. You know, they did, man.
Yeah, you are fried. Whoa. Where did that come from? You were real black real quick.
Baby Creed. Yeah, man.
Baby Creed is funny. Jeez.
Baby Creed.
Yeah,
black
we're
perspective.
Talk about this episode. Was this needed? I can't wait to really talk about that. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
The Chase should have worn a movie rubber.
Oh, Jesus.
Just saying, man.
You should have worn a what?
A movie rubber.
A movie rubber. What does that mean?
That means, nigga, we didn't need this. He would have worn a movie rubber. We would have never had Many Saints.
This is Razzie worthy?
No, it's not Razzie worthy. And the performance is good.
Okay.
It's a script that's just, and I will talk about. We'll talk about why I think they really fumbled. One of the things that they did very wrong with the marketing. We'll talk about it. And I think if they changed it up a little bit, we would have looked at this movie differently. Marketing goes a long way, man. How you present something goes a long way. So we'll talk about it. How you feeling, Mo?
I'm feeling good, man. Handling business, being the boss of my family. That sounds good. Say it out loud. But no, it feels good. You know, taking care of business. It's tough. Life is tough. That's just the business. But overall, I'm glad to be here. Yeah, I can't begin to express how much this means to me to be able to podcast with you brothers, because it gives me the outlet that I need. I need this relief and release, pause if necessary. So I'm always grateful, and it feels great to talk with you brothers just for however long to get away from the regularness of life.
Absolutely, man.
Same here,
man. Same here. Even with all the podcasts we're part of, man, it's always fun. It feels like riding a bike whenever we all get together, man.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait to get started on Breaking Bad. I don't know if you're ready to announce officially. I guess maybe we'll put our ducks in a row.
Are you talking about date or
about a timetable for when we're gonna start Breaking Bad? But maybe we'll hold off a little bit once we confirm everything.
Okay.
But it's coming this fall, y'all. It's coming this fall.
Yes, this fall. What I will say is we are going to have in our next episode, I get it out the way early. We're going to have two guests, and they're actually supporters of ours. So we're going to have two very pivotal guests on here. The first time that I think we've had guests outside of the great Joseph Ganascoli. So I'm excited about opening up the Bing for some of the supporters of ours. So y'all stay on the lookout for what we got.
In agreement with this? Is it going to be like when Harold walking to Satry house? We all just looking like, hold on, man, what you doing here?
Well, we're gonna see how it goes. You know, we're gonna see
breaking news real time. Like we ain't even know this.
I sent this to y'all already though. I texted y'all this like a little bit ago.
That could be right. That could be right. Hey,
motto.
It's very possible. Yeah.
Speaking of being out the loop, Mo, I saw you posted something last week.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that was.
Okay.
What was it?
So it's something I'm trying. Spike Lou has been an inspiration as far as getting active on like videos, reels, just whatever, his own Spike Lou style. So I'm like, you know what? I've been pushing this for this brother for the longest. Let me get active. You know what I mean? So now I'm pulling from his energy, and so I've been making reels for the Childish Grownups show page, and also so I said, you know what? Let me take a stab at the Good Earners page. So what I've done is I created a episode called Best Decision Made. And so the first one I did was pretty much when the guy seen Matthew Bevilacqua get killed, and he went to the police to like report it. And so I talked about 2 bad decisions that he made. And then at the end, that's what we talk about, the best decision made. Some brief. I just wanted to feed this feed because I know eventually there won't be something. We won't have too many more episodes as far as like this because we got other obligations. But I wanted to figure out a way that I could do this without a crazy commitment, and maybe it's something, see how, the supporters are feeling it. So it's a brief, I don't know, it's maybe 10, 12 minutes. I'm kind of narrating over top of it, just trying my hand or something. So it was pretty cool, pretty good reception. So
bet. I'm gonna check it out, man. If y'all been listening,
that's creative.
Enough,
right on.
I have a very bad habit of not listening to anything that I record. But I'm trying to switch that up.
See, y'all did this to me. I'm like y'all now. I don't listen to my stuff no more.
Hey, man, listen, got other things to do. You gotta be the boss of your own family.
Hey, I got problems of my own.
Yeah, straight up.
What are you gonna do?
Shout out to Childish Grownups too, man. Cause I see you've been doing the same, like making the reels on.
Oh yeah,
just things that are themed around that show. So I was like, okay, then Mo in the bag. I gotta step it up.
I'm just waiting on my invite to Childish Grownups, man.
Hey, send me a list of movies. You got to send me a list of movies. I want you on. Like I want all my people's on, but I got to know. Give me some of the movies
from my childhood.
Yeah, from your childhood. Like whenever it is, even
with the Wind, Casablanca,
this fucking guy.
This guy.
There won't be nothing to talk about because there wasn't no sound in the movies back when Spike was a kid.
Right, there wasn't no color either. So. But yeah, some stuff that you grew up on, and even if because obviously we're a little younger than you, even if it's something that you might have maybe been in your 20s, like in the 90s or something, or
have y'all done Coolie High?
No.
Spike was in the theaters for that.
I tell you what, here, let me ask this. Is Coolie High? I've never seen this. I've heard of it. Is it like, does it take place in the summer?
Is that the summertime? No, that was at school. It's like spring, fall.
Spring, fall. Okay.
It'd be perfect back to school. It'd be perfect.
It's the ultimate. It's the ultimate coming of age. It's to give you context for your age group. It's like The Wood. It's the ultimate coming of age story for like that generation.
Okay. Exactly. Now you got me intrigued. So what I may do, hopefully, Ash and Mia don't hear, but like we get a dealer's choice every quarter, every season. That might be my dealer's choice. I might have to go ahead and pull that.
You do that,
card.
I'm there. I'm there.
Coolie High.
I want to talk about that. Yeah,
I like it.
Just throwing this out there for y'all. It's Childish Grownups. As a listener, I'd like to see y'all maybe have maybe a throwback month.
Okay.
Everybody pick a movie they ain't never seen, like an old school where people call a classic.
Yeah, I picked. And it's not throwback. I picked. Losing Isaiah. I never seen that before.
Oh, really?
That's like one of our highest rated episodes, which is like the craziest. Cool. Losing Isaiah. Yeah, I never seen it. I just watched.
What did you think about it?
Yeah, it was. I didn't think she deserved.
Yeah, that ain't
her
your
son.
type of movie.
I didn't think she deserved her son. It was our Mother May I month, so we did a Mother's Day theme, Father's Day theme each month. So that was the one I picked for the mother side of it, and it was a great conversation. Like it was, but
that's a good movie to talk about.
Yeah, it was definitely a good one. I
definitely acted her ass off in that too.
Bro,
she acted her ass off. Down that same vein, since we on it, I know we got to get moving and we'll hear people here for it. But I watched the movie that I never watched that people consider a classic over the weekend, Jaws, because it turned 50. Y'all ever seen Jaws?
You was giving it up. I didn't listen to that. You make me want to go listen to.
I've never seen Jaws.
I've seen clips.
Disgusting. It is disgusting that people have been lying all these years about this movie.
It probably ain't us lying. It's them lying.
I'm talking the previous generations. Yeah, them. Them. Like you saying, Mo. But maybe it's because I seen it 50 years later, which I do concede to. But that shit it's comical how bad that shit is.
Damn.
I think because they make movies so much differently now. There's really not too many movies from that era. But I'm gonna do and this is the last thing before we get into Sopranos. I've been looking at that like 100,000 movies to watch before you die from different decades and stuff like that. I'm gonna start going through it and just going through some of the, maybe not stuff from the 20s and 30s, but really 60s, 70s, 80s, and just going back and seeing what I like. Because Spike's movie, that holds up test of time.
Yes, it do. A Wonderful Life.
Life holds up to test of time. Godfather Part 2. Like some movies, it doesn't matter. Like the era didn't capture, and some of them is just dated. Like you just had to be there, and if you weren't there, you won't have the same appreciation. I think Jaws is one of those.
I tell you,
I wonder if people look at the original Jurassic Park that same way.
I think
that holds up. I go back and watch that Jurassic Park, and like when T-Rex jumped on the scene, that shit still was like oh, okay. Yeah, I think that
holds up. That's just a timeless. I'll say too, just on the TV side, kind of in that era, Twilight Zone, that holds up. It's black and white, and it holds up, and I'm still into it, bro. Like I be into that.
I looked at a list of like the best Twilight Zone episodes ever, like the top 20 list or whatever. What's number one? That shit is fire. I'll send it to you, Mo.
Yes, please.
It's like it's old and got, like you said, the black and white, but just it's fascinating how relevant it is today.
Bro.
And that shit was damn near 70 years ago. But it's like the number one episode. It's about these people in this town, and like it's insane how good that shit was.
It's good, bro.
It was very, very intriguing. I'll send it to you. But that number one episode on that list was fire.
Send that to
me.
I'm
a big Twilight Zone fan.
I'm a big anthology guy, actually.
Was that Black Mirror before Black Mirror?
Absolutely.
Yeah. 1,000,000%.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I ain't mad at it. Well, folks, we know we ain't here for all the other stuff we just talked about, Twilight Zone, Cooley High, anything like that, man. We are here to talk about Sopranos, another episode of Back in the Bing. I'll be taking, got to give the boss a break every now and then. So Mo's going to kick his feet up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Fire up the grill, light a stogie. I'll make sure I take it over for this one, man. And we're going to talk about, mainly the reason is because Culture Garden Podcast is a film podcast that I've been recording since late 2021. Took a little break, and we've been going active since the end of 2022. So with me having a film podcast, it was just discuss, hey, we're doing a movie. Let's kind of use our format and take it from there. So we're just going to go that route. And before we do, I do want to make sure that I read some comments that we had from previous episodes. Mo just mentioned that he made the Made series and things like that. So we do have some YouTube comments to read. One is from Mocha Bunny 456. On the fridge. I'm assuming that's when he was talking to his wife.
Yeah.
After making the call. And like Mo just explained it earlier, that's the scene when the dude witnessed people leaving after the Matthew Bevilacqua hit, and then they found out later, like, yo, this a mob boss? Or nah, we cool. So shout out to Mocha Bunny 456. We also have Trent C 7329. Real flag saluting patriot. I don't think he said patriot in the show.
He definitely didn't say patriot.
Yeah, flag saluting motherfucker. I think that's what the official term was. But shout out to y'all for the comment, man. I love when people just drop in random comments.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because that's the fan of this. That's the fandom. You either get it or you don't. I love those if you know moments. You know what I mean? We got a DM from our guy Chris Falone, our Italian Connect, our Jersey Connect, unofficial fourth member of this thing.
Yeah.
This is about our Mafia Madness bracket. He said, love the Mafia Madness so far, man. Awesome pod. You guys ever consider a bracket of police versus criminals? But it's a Wire Sopranos crossover. So it's like Bunk Moreland versus Tony Soprano, or Agent Harris versus Avon. That could be very interesting.
Oh man,
I'm gonna tell you right now, Avon smoking Agent Harris.
Yeah,
nigga, what? If he hit, I'm about to say if he hit Lieutenant, I'm about to say Lieutenant Daniels on some Forrest Gump shit. But if he hit him with the, man, come on, man, he ain't about to. Agent Harris ain't about to mess with Avon.
Keep it
lost in Baltimore.
Keep it a bean. The Sopranos law enforcement is just not strong enough. I don't think there's not a focal point as much like it is in The Wire. So I think that's always gonna be a challenge with that bracket.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I think that anybody that goes against a criminal in The Wire is gonna get washed just about, unless you get them with like Bubbles or something. You know what I mean? If you consider him like in that bracket, but yeah.
In that same vein, though, I think there is some crossover potential with some things.
Okay.
Especially as we go along with these TV shows.
Yeah.
maybe eventually we'll have an All Stars. I know Spike's into the Tournament of Champions, the cooking show. Maybe we have an
Facts.
All Star of the shows we do and take some of those characters and really try to sort out what's what.
We should do
Least
that.
favorite, most favorite. We'll get something done, Chris. I think that can work out.
That would be fire. The Tournament of Champions would be fire.
Let me ask this real quick, just a sidebar. Who's the better number 2? And what's Mark? Is it Chris? Chris Partlow?
Yeah.
Who's the better number 2, Silvio or Chris?
See, here's the thing. This is why this is difficult, and we'll have to get some requirements for this because Chris was a soldier more than a 2. He was a trusted number 2, but he was also the main hitter.
He was an enforcer. Yeah. He wasn't like a brain, but he did consult with Chris though. So
he did consult with Chris on some. What do you think? I think he trusted Chris. One of the few people he actually trusted. Matter of fact, probably the only person he trusted. And I think, and we'll talk about it whenever we do the Wire podcast. I think Chris had to have military background.
Yeah, had to.
So
yeah,
he was strategic and planning. So I think that's the way he wanted to look at it. Where Stringer is a true number 2.
I was gonna say the Stringer to Silvio is a better comparison.
Different crews.
Yeah, Stringer to Silvio is a better comparison.
Oh, Stringer and Silvio.
Because I might go
that's a real
Stringer.
good conversation.
I might go Stringer.
If Stringer's a better character, is he the better number 2? I don't know.
We're talking loyalty matters.
Part of being a good number 2 is checking your ambition at the door.
And loyalty.
But part of being a good number 2 too is covering them blind spots. Like shit you wouldn't have did. Like at the scene, nigga, you didn't have it in you to do that. What I needed to do. So
that's fair.
Oh, this is so good.
Yeah, we can have that combo. I think about that often. Who's the best number 2?
One-off. We might need to do that as a one-off, little 15-minute, 20-minute episode.
Absolutely, because there's people that's like, you going because you got to wait. What Breaking Bad is 5 seasons. Six. Okay. So I think for people that was really rooting for The Wire being next, we might have to just give them that, like, yo, give me a little bit.
Get them some one. We can give them some one-offs.
Yeah, we can give some one-offs.
Some back of the bean
to build anticipation for it.
Going back to your question, Mo, what you presented when you talked about Chris. Now, Chris will be a good comparison for somebody like Mike in Breaking Bad because they both kind of play the same role.
Okay, I like that.
You know what I mean?
They both All Stars is going crazy right now.
Yeah, Mike and Chris.
Mike
was to Saul compared to what Chris was to Marlo, that can be a good combo.
One more question. Who gonna match up against Lalo Salamanca? Bro, I've been watching videos on Lalo, and it makes me so mad.
You ain't seen him in action?
No, I know.
Like you ain't seen him?
No, Lalo but he's so good. Like, bro, I got to send y'all a video. Dude just breaks down how brilliant Lalo is. We already knew in the show, but he gets even more into it. And I'm like, bro, I don't know. That's a hard, like him, and he might have to just be matched up with Gus, because
I was just about to say, not for nothing. Like, Gus is the only person that comes to mind when you're talking about, because people that have seen Breaking Bad, we got to understand what he did in the second part, Lalo, of that season 6. Like, to figure out what he did and come back, like, bro. That was a masterpiece.
Bro, the fact that he said, tell me again. That was, bro, when he told him tell the story again, oh my, and he told him a third, I said, oh, this dude, he's so scary.
Lalo was a beast.
He was smiling and everything. I'm like, oh, he is a scary dude.
Lalo was a beast.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we got to talk.
He on that ultimate. He up on that tier.
Yeah,
like,
he
it
up
ain't
there.
too many niggas up there with Gus. He right there.
He right there. Yeah.
Man, this is fun, man. This is fun. We gonna have a lot of fun with this.
Sure.
Last comment comes from our guy Kiori, the brainchild behind the Mafia Madness bracket. Shout out to Kiori.
Shout out to Kiori, man.
If it wasn't for him, I'm not saying we wouldn't have thought of it, but it wouldn't have been anytime soon. I don't think any of us had a bracket on our mind, and he brought that Isaiah, set it up for us. So we definitely appreciate you, Kiori. He said, "Yo, what up, Mo?" I'm gonna go ahead and include Spike and Rich as well.
Of course.
But Mo runs the page, so of course he said, "What up, Mo?" I watched the bracket back of the Bing, and I absolutely loved it. So glad y'all had as much fun doing the bracket as I did making it for you. All three of you caught a lot of the reasonings behind the matchups that I did, and I appreciated your attention to detail. I hope to do back of the Bing with all three of y'all someday, because I know we can make an entertaining conversation about the show. Much love, and can't wait for the next video. Breaking Bad podcast in the fall. So, absolutely, man. I think Kiori just reveal he might be one of the people we're gonna talk to, which I think is dope. I think
yeah, yep. Yeah, I got it.
Imagine the other would be Chris.
There it is. I got it. There it is.
We got it. Yeah,
it's Chris and Key. Like, come on.
Yeah. We definitely got to have them on there. And I love people who love TV and movies and just love talking that stuff, man. These are true, genuine fans, not only who get the Sopranos show, but get this show. Good earners. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be dope to have a conversation and get other people's thoughts. Especially when it's the three of us, but we get outside thoughts in the comments. I think that's real dope. So we appreciate all y'all for tuning in, rolling with us. But to get into today's episode, as I said, a necessary evil to some, we are discussing the 2021 film Many Saints of Newark. Before we get started, please remember to like, subscribe, share, and if you have not already subscribed to No More Half Measures, please do that. We'll try to put a link in the description when we drop this episode. Please make sure you follow that Instagram page. The feed is live as far as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everything goes. It will be coming this fall. We just want to make sure we got things rolling. I know Mo was ready. Mo was ready to put out a preview episode. I'm like, my God, put out the preview episode. They're gonna want episode 1 next week.
You right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. We gotta hold off and wait, man. But we definitely appreciate y'all. And please keep sending those comments, those emails. Goes a long way, man, and it helps us helps you join the conversation. And we always love including you a part of that. Synopsis of Many Saints of Newark. As rival gangsters begin to rise up and challenge the all-powerful DeMeo crime family, the DeMeo crime family's hold over the increasingly race-torn Newark, a young Tony Soprano is influenced by his uncle to become an all-powerful mob boss. Before I get into the stats, I just want to say this for the record right there. That's where they messed up.
You know you messed up, right?
That's where they messed up, right?
Like the trailer.
Let's stop right there for a second, and so people understand where we stand on this, and understand how this conversation is about to go. This isn't a bad movie, but when that is the tagline, the expectations are different. Had they called this movie Dickie or something of that nature, and it just been a piece out of the Sopranos world, then it would have been fine. It would have been fine. You would have appreciated the Easter eggs. You would have appreciated and not held to as high critical regard that you would have held like some of the stuff that happened in here. It would have been fine had they just called this like the Dickie Moltisanti story. But when you call it Many Saints of Newark and you selling it as, oh, this is Tony's, like this is what shows him how to be. Yeah, like stop it, bro. Like this stop.
Here's what Rick, you go ahead because you were going towards something.
Oh, all I was gonna say is I know y'all miss me and Spike sharing the same brain, and there we go again because I literally wrote that in my notes. And there's a movie that came out recently that I thought of that did this perfectly. Ballerina recently dropped. And they promoted it as from the world of John Wick. Oh, they didn't say it's a John Wick movie. They just said, hey, this takes place in this universe. Had you just said, like Spike said, Dickie Moltisanti, and we know it's in the Sopranos world, when they build this, if y'all remember the first time y'all saw this trailer, they really hyped it as like this is the coming of age story of Tony Soprano. And there's nothing to do with that. We didn't even get teenage Tony until 55 minutes into the movie. Like, that's not the story. The story is Dickie Moltisanti and everything else, and really the riots of Newark. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in the origin. But go ahead, Spike. You were going to say real quick something.
To your point about Ballerina. I've seen one John Wick movie, but I had to review Ballerina for the Frames Per Second podcast. So I was like, okay, cool. I seen that first John Wick and I was like, I'm good. I don't have to see the other 4. But to your point, by it not being billed as some sort of sequel, and I didn't feel like I was missing anything. And the Ballerina was thoroughly entertaining for me. It was cool. I got it. I understood it. I didn't have to watch John Wick or feel like I was missing anything. So I think that was a great point.
Also, there's a 3-part event, or it's like a 3-part series called The Continental, and it also says from the world of John Wick on Peacock. So again, fire, just putting that like that little adage. That's all you need. I wanted to say while we're getting into the origin, I wanted to say this movie would easily be perfect if you treated it like The Godfather. Now, I'm not saying the creator of Godfather in his mind was already set up to do 3 films. What I'm saying is, if you treated this like, hey, we ain't even getting into Tony on this one. We ain't getting into Silvio, Paulie, Carmelo. We're not getting into none of that. We are just in the 60s right now, and we with the old mafia. We are in the heyday, not in the end at the end. We are in the heyday. This just the introduction. You know, and I'll speak more about some critiques. I got a lot of critiques, obviously. We all do. But if they just treat this like, yo, we got a 3. If I'm Chase or if I'm a part of that team, I'm pitching this as a 3-picture deal.
Yeah.
Right off rip. That minimum, last movie.
At minimum. This could have been a brand. You could have did the Tony story, the young Tony.
That's what I'm saying. Young Tony is the 3rd film. You
could have did Paulie. Like there was so many. You could have did Tony's dad. Like there's so many different ways this could have went if it had been billed differently. But y'all told us it was this, and it's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you think part of it is not having the medium of a television series, not having the medium of 12 episodes, 13 episodes to tell the full story and trying to convert it to film? Because it was dicey, man. And there were some things I'm like, hold on, what? How we get there? Like, why? What? Huh? And we'll talk about first experiences, but it's hard to go from making a TV series to a movie. Maybe if he did make this a series.
Well, maybe if he did go back and rewatch his product.
That part too. Yeah, that's going to be a big part of it too. We're going to talk about, like I said, not to shit on it because it's not bad and the acting's good and they got actors I really like and there's some characters that really nailed it and there's some characters that did really bad impressions. And it was almost comical. Like it was almost comical. I'll say it right now. Silvio, come on, man. It was cartoonish.
It was OD, but you know what? To be honest, I wasn't really that mad about. I was more mad about the hair situation. I was more mad about the hair situation than anything. But I know what you mean.
Yeah. So as far as the film goes, it premiered at the Tribeca Fall Preview September 22nd of 2021, and it came out in theaters and on HBO Max October 1st, 2021. Directed by Alan Taylor, famed TV director. He also directed Thor: Dark World, which honestly I think is the worst Thor, but that's another story for another time. He directed 7 episodes of Game of Thrones, 2 episodes of House of the Dragon, 4 episodes of Mad Men, 1 episode of Y'all show Lost, and 9 episodes of The Sopranos, including my favorite episode, The Blue Comet.
Ooh.
It was written by David Chase and Lawrence Connor, and it had a budget of $50 million. How much did it make? Let's take a guess, fellas.
Oh, I think this did numbers. I think it made 75. That's my guess.
Spike Lee, what's your guess?
50. I would say 108.
$13 million box office flop.
This came out to the movies?
Yeah.
Was it one day only?
So they did it. Remember when they were really trying to figure out how to do this was right when movies were streaming and going straight to streaming, and they were trying to figure out how to do it. So HBO released it on Max for 31 days while also being in the theaters.
So on one end, that's what happened. That's what happened.
So yeah, I was gonna say on one end, it only made 13 million at the theaters. On the other end, the numbers for it was the most watched streaming movie on Max for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay,
so it would have did numbers. It would have did. It would have budget back.
It would recoup. Yep.
It would have. It would have, man. So I never understood why people do that. Same way I never understand why some series drop all the episodes at once instead of dominating the conversation for 8 weeks. Like if I have an 8 episode, I think Forever did that. Forever dropped all at once.
Mm-hmm. The Bear about to do that too.
Yeah, Bear does it every year.
Yeah,
Bear's a perfect example, Spike. If I'm FX, I want to dominate the conversation for 6, 7, 8 weeks. Every week, I want you talking about my show. I don't want it to be for a weekend or two, and then people are on to the next thing. I'm sure there's a reason behind it. Marketing money, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's just my 2 cents.
I'll say, and shout out to Roll Season 2. I dropped the whole thing in one swoop. Had to throw that in there. But nah, the rap hip hop show, the competition on Netflix, they do it 3 episodes, and then you gotta wait, and then they come back another 3. I think that's the middle ground. Give us 2 episodes, and then you gotta wait next week. You get 2 episodes, and then you know what I mean. Like I don't. I'm not just a one episode kind. We kind of hungry. We kind of thirst for more. So give us about 2 episodes. Leave us with a cliffhanger, and then wait. But yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting thing. But I don't think this. With that being said, I don't think the movie's a flop because they kind of stepped on the brick a bit there.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you right there. If you are looking for the film, it is not streaming anywhere. You have to rent it. So you can rent it for $3.99. You can actually buy it for $9.99 if you want it in your collection.
I don't know why you would want that.
There.
They're still trying to recoup.
Still trying to recoup, man. They need that bread back. Had four award nominations, 0 wins. Nothing to really talk about there. I do want to mention the cast real quick. Alessandro Nivola as Dickie Moltisanti. I think he bodied it.
Yep.
Great
he bodied
job.
This. It's funny because he didn't even know he was the lead until they started filming it, which is always funny to me. He just said Sopranos, all right, I'll play this role, and then realizing, oh, I'm the number one on the call sheet. He bodied it. Leslie Odom Jr. is Harold McBrayer. We'll get into that character and kind of the origin of why David Chase.
What I know him from? What he played in?
Hamilton. And also
wasn't in One Night in Miami.
Definitely didn't see
One Night in Miami.
He was Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke. He can sing too.
That may be it.
Yeah.
I definitely see him.
He's a great actor. Great actor. I like dude.
Speaking of, I meant to hit you on AB up because you know that Lin-Manuel Miranda produced.
Did the Elephants beat? Yeah, I know that.
Anyway, we ain't gonna waste time on that. My guy, John Berthal, one of my favorite actors, man. Like literally, if John Berthal's in it, I'm watching it.
Yeah, I like him.
Johnny Soprano, Corey Steele as Junior Soprano, and listen, incredible shot. What was his name on Billions? He took over for Bobby Axelrod. I can't think.
If he hadn't asked me, I would have known.
He took over for Bobby Axelrod.
Yeah, he took over from. He
ended up being like the main antagonist. They were on the show at the same time. Don't get me wrong, but
Corey Stoll.
He took over.
Yeah, Corey Stoll. I'm talking about his name on the show. What was his name?
Mike Prince.
Yeah, Prince.
I said Prince. Yeah, Prince.
Yeah. You think about
real life.
You think about your VP.
It's fries.
Michael Gandolfini is Tony Soprano, obviously the son of the late great James.
Shout out to Michael
Gandolfini. Yeah, who's carved out a decent film career of his own.
Oh, he's got more?
Oh, absolutely. I just saw a movie in the theaters not too long ago called Warfare, which if you like those kind of one-off, it's not like a Saving Private Ryan. It's more so like, hey, we're going to give you 12 hours of what it's like to be in a war zone. Like, and it's very good and very well done. A24 Studios, I think, does an incredible job with telling stories in their movies. So I'm always going to check them out. But he was in that in a supporting role. He was in Daredevil. If anybody watching Daredevil Born Again, he was in Bob Marley One Love. Dang, and he does character acting really well because some of these movies you wouldn't even know it was him because of the way they
he played a Jamaican dude and
stuff like that. Yeah, he like the manager or something like that.
He was Chet Hanks.
One of the music. One of the music execs, and he also in Spike. I think you put us onto this. The Offer. Did you put us onto The Offer?
What was it about?
The Godfather, like making The Godfather or something. Oh,
the making of The Godfather. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
he was in The Offer as well, which is a Paramount Plus show, if I'm not mistaken. Peacock, one of the two. Either way, he was in there. We got Billy Magnuson as Paulie Walnuts, Michelle DeRossi as Josephina Moltisanti. Mo, this is for you. Let's get this out of the way right now. Where does Josephina rank in the in the Soprano women world?
So we had at the top, we had Christopher Gumar that Tony slept with season 6, right? We had her at the top, right?
No, no. Really, she at the top over Gloria? I thought we had.
I think so.
No. Remember, we said we all said like, yo, she might be the finest. When they went to the casino, you remember? Are you thinking about who we talking about?
Yeah, the chick that made him step in the horse shit.
No, that's Valentina. We're talking about the one where they did peyote together.
Yeah, when he went to Vegas.
Okay,
she is like up there. So we had her, and then I think
this girl looks similar to her.
She does look similar. That's why I was trying to figure out. And then I think
some of the chick with the mole right here, right? That's what we're talking about. We ain't talking
about
now. Yeah.
We talking about the
chick that Dickie was cheating with.
Yeah, yeah, the
First,
Gumar.
Okay,
we'll talk about it. When I say nasty, when I say I understand how Dickie was Tony's mentor, because that was killing your pops and taking his wife
Hold
is
on,
one of the most disgusting things. That's Bobby Womack levels of nasty.
Hey,
that's what.
okay,
Oh
hold on,
man,
real
if
quick,
y'all
real
don't
quick.
get that Bobby Womack reference, please look that up.
Hey,
Yeah,
hold on,
please
real
look at
quick.
Bobby
You're not gonna
Womack.
believe that.
The
That's
Bubba Womack
Jermaine and Randy Jackson level nasty.
That might be the gays. Never mind.
Two brothers sharing
I'm talking
a baby
about
mama
Marvin
is
Gaye for the
crazy.
record for whoever's listening. That's why I'm naming the gays. But we had her
Way to
number
clear that
one.
up. It's Pride Month, Mo.
Yeah,
Clear that up.
It's men's mental health month. Put some respect on it. You heard?
Jesus.
I knew you was gonna do that. That's why I said it.
What are you gonna do? Ease up? No.
I do.
Spike normally does a lot, so I'm gonna let Spike do it. He been doing it. He from a different generation. It's excusable when he do it.
Oh shit! What were you gonna say, Bo?
No, I'm just trying to figure out. So we had her, and then I think we had AJ's girlfriend is number 2.
Huh?
We didn't have AJ's girlfriend number 2.
Oh, the
I
blonde.
did it.
Okay, who do you have number? Who was after her? I'm just trying to figure out where we rank her.
It might have been Clay Spike stupid.
Okay,
it might have been Gloria.
I think it was
Spike
Gloria,
had Valentina. I thought you had Valentina over Gloria because you was like, nah, she a little more feisty. I think she Venezuelan.
Gloria was number 2 for me. I think
Okay.
Valentina was number 3 though.
Okay, so
y'all check me if I'm wrong, but
yeah, y'all hit us up if we wrong.
Yeah, this chick with the mole, like she won. She won.
I think y'all sleeping on Irina for real. Irina way too low in the rankings. Y'all done forgot the OG.
Irina look like she knows some things, but she's just not that attractive to me. She got a different kind of look. I think it's just different.
Is it the leg? Is it the braids?
Is it the braids?
You talking about old girl? You talking about
no, he talking about Svetlana.
Oh, okay, that's who I was talking about.
No, Svetlana, all right though. Like we talked about, yeah, she all right. Outside of
Are you talking about the first? You talking about her cousin?
Yeah, her cousin. Okay. I think she's cool to me, but this chick,
she was fine.
I probably put her number 2. I still got the one that Tony was with doing peyote number 1, because she was just chill the whole time. I think personality got her, but her, she's and be honest, I still got AJ girl. I got AJ girl for number 3 for me because when she was rocking and you seen that back action, I was like, oh yeah, she knows some things. So yeah, I put her number
girlfriend, 2. The one that was in the
car,
one
that was playing that played him
the
and
one
went
that
back
drove him crazy.
Yeah, the one that got
that's
why I said how do
older chick.
Yeah, that was on Entourage.
She might have been number 1.
Nah, she wasn't number 1. She was number 2. Like that's why I said, bro. Cause I remember when I was talking about Gloria, you was kind of like, you really wasn't jacking Gloria, really. Yeah. Cause I like Gloria, like she toxic, but I feel like she get busy. But
she always, it's hard for me to look at her ever since Spike said, man, everything we did Entourage, and Spike was like, man, you crying over the fucking Uber driver? Ever since then, I get weak. Like I can't even look at her the same.
All right, I'm gonna say maybe I need to send you that scene again because that'll bring you back in one time.
Nah, you're right. She put it on AJ.
Yeah, she definitely did. But I probably put this Gumar here number 2. Like she is
high. She's high. That's high level.
Very attractive. Straight from the
material, right?
Straight from the motherland.
She knew what she wanted when she got over here too.
Boy.
All right, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it, man. We got John Magaro with Silvio Dante, Ray Liotta, R.I.P. man. His last theatrical release. He played 2 roles: Hollywood Dick and Sally Moltisanti.
What was the first role again?
We got Vera Farmiga, absolute incredible actor. Vera Farmiga playing Olivia Sopranos. I thought she knocked it out the park. She did a wonderful job.
She always do good in anything.
Everything, bro.
I ain't never seen her do bad.
Everything.
Facts.
Bates Motel.
Man.
Everything. She played the mom in Bates Motel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like she a beast, man.
And we just got to shout out. We got to shout out a fan favorite, man. Patina Miller, Rock.
Bruh. I was like, oh, that's.
I forgot she was even in this movie.
We didn't know her like that then.
You're right. We didn't. I think Raising Kanan might have just been starting. I forget season 1. I forget when it was, but we didn't know her like that. But she played Queen Isola, which was Harold's girl. I think we know the answer if it's a classic or not. we're all going to disagree, or we're all going to agree and say it's not a classic. But just a little bit of information. So I'm assuming this was probably before The Sopranos even started. But David Chase, with his parents being from Newark, he always had the idea he wanted to write a story about four white dudes who were in Newark in the 60s and wanted to avoid the Vietnam draft by enrolling and enlisting, should I say, into the National Guard just to be deployed to the Newark riots. So the Newark riots, if you don't know, we ain't gonna do a full history lesson. 1967 spanned over 4 days. Police beat up a black dude, caused all these riots that caused pretty much middle class white people, anybody who really had some bread to move out of Newark and into the suburbs. Like they destroyed the city in those 4 days. National Guard was called in, the whole nine. So that was kind of the inspiration behind the film. And Chase wanted to write a story. A lot of people were talking about, hey, can you write a prequel? Do you want to write a sequel? After James Gandolfini died, he was like, man, I'm definitely not doing a sequel. But the prequel idea did pique his interest. And we got this. And there was talks of doing a sequel to this, like from the time this film ended until Tony was in his 20s. Would you be here for that, Spike Lee?
Yeah, because I would love to see them flesh out Junior's motivation more. Like I know Junior's a petty dude, and we got 6 seasons of him with the Sopranos, but in this movie, the abruptness to move on Dickie and do what he did, of course, we'll get into it. There's a lot more there to be fleshed out. I would love to see Mike Prince, or what I can't think of his name, but I would love to
Corey
see
Stoll.
Corey Stoll be the main character like Dickie was, and diving into more of Junior's like leaning into power and him being where we seen Junior at on The Sopranos, which I know he was a lot older, but I still would love to see him from this age moving forward. You ain't got to go all the way to The Sopranos, but I am interested in from here until maybe Tony's dad takes over as boss, or my man's what's your man
Jackie?
Tony Jackie, to where Jackie took over. I would love to see how all that played out, how Junior was processed. Like I think that would probably be one of the best pieces of material in this whole universe. Because to go from where Junior was right here and what he thought he was going to be to where Jackie is the boss of the family, and we see how petty that Junior is by what he did to Dickie in his movie. I think that's one of the most appealing pieces of like just 2-3 hours or whatever it may be of like content that you could get out of this story.
That's interesting. I want to pass the same question to you, Mo, but it's interesting that you would, and if I'm understanding correctly, you like to see a movie based around Junior versus 20s Tony.
Yes, for Junior from this point to closer to the Sopranos age.
Well, what about what if it's based in a 3-movie series? How would you then go about like what each movie would be based around?
So this first one would have been Dickie, the next one would be Junior, and then like you said with the Godfather, the last one I would go back in time like they did in Godfather 2 and kind of show Tony's perspective of that Junior uprise.
We gotta see the young Ralph, Tony, Jackie. We gotta see them coming of age. We gotta see the card game scene. Like we gotta have something that shows how they
And I
became.
think that would be the third movie for me. That's the feeder into this is why The Sopranos is what it is. I think that like again, this would be a good first movie out of 3 in a trilogy, especially if it bleeds into, because of how this movie ended, the Junior story. But that doesn't mean that we can't go back in time in the third one like they did in The Godfather and kind of get Tony's perspective and get those things that you were talking about, Rich, with a card game where we've kind of seen it already from Junior's perspective, but here's how Tony's looking at it. And here's why we even start The Sopranos with, oh, both of these dudes got to be the boss of New Jersey. I think that's the perfect storytelling to lead into this, or to lead into The Sopranos.
What you think, Mo?
Yeah, I think Yeah, I think the first movie. To be honest, I just don't, and obviously I know this is the black perspective. I just don't think we need that part of this world. I think that's kind of like in the things that I dislike. I just feel like this is just like a Italian dude, white dude, whatever, a Wonder Bread Wop, so to speak, looking like, ooh, this is interesting. Let me kind of redcon some of the things that I had with black people. I think this is an interesting story. Let me utilize this, and it's like, let's just not even do that. Let just keep us in the realm and the world of the mafia life, because obviously The Sopranos takes place in like how the mafia exist in being in at the end. So this is like, okay, we are in the thick of it. Just focus there. So the first movie would be that minus the riot stuff, the black connect. Don't even put, to me, forget all that. You don't need none of that. We just dealing with like the real old school mafia way of doing things. People getting whacked, people getting hands cut off, whatever y'all did at the second movie. I kind of like what Spike said. It could be Junior, but it to me, it's like going into the next generation. So the second movie is Junior and Johnny. The second movie is Junior and Johnny, and then the third movie is strictly Tony. Now it's like at that point, Dickie would have died in the second movie for me. Now he would have died early at the top of the movie, and then we're dealing with Johnny and Junior. And then even in this movie, we didn't really get the actual DeMeo, like him in prison. Like we didn't get that, like who's the head of this family. Like this was an opportunity. And then the third movie would be like Tony. We're seeing him with Artie in high school. Like we're spending time with like how Artie was debating if he was gonna be in the mob. We seeing the Charmaine. We seeing that summer trip they talked about where Charmaine and Tony got it in. You know what I mean? We're seeing like, that possibility they almost got together. We're seeing the blue dress story that Tony talked about with Carmela, like when he knew she was the one. Like we're building so that way when you get to the pilot, I'm leaving no room for critique. Where when we get to the pilot and you see Tony come down the driveway, we're like, oh, this is like Better Call Saul did.
This is where it led to.
Where it got us right there where we was like, oh. Now, when you go back to Breaking Bad, you say, "Oh, did Lalo send you?" Now we got a whole understanding of what he's talking about. That's what this should have been. This should have been a 3-picture deal, and sometimes that happens based on the first film. And I think because of that, it didn't work out. But this, to be honest, and I'm moving on. I'll let you get to it, Rich. I honestly, really, after this movie, I really just wanted a series with Michael Gandolfini and getting a 10 episodes, even 8 episode series of. Just young Tony playing football, just all the stuff we know about Tony. I prefer all that. I don't really need the great Dickie Moltisanti. I don't need none of that because this film doesn't give it justice. I just wanted to see Tony in high school with Artie and seeing Paulie. I don't want nothing like this. Yeah, this film we don't need it. So yeah.
I'm gonna touch on something you just said here in a second, but before I do, I want to kick it over to Spike Lou. Do you remember your first time seeing this film, and what were your thoughts when you did?
Yeah, I was excited. Like we all are Sopranos fans, so I'm sure y'all can remember and may have similar feelings. But yeah, I remember when they announced this. I remember the lead up to it. I remember not having to go to the theater to see it because I had HBO. I think it was Plus at that time. It wasn't even Max. So like it was HBO Plus. It was an addition to it, some shit like that. So yeah, like I watched this like on the big screen at the crib, like it locked in, like couldn't wait till this came out. And yeah, like, I had high expectations for it.
Mo, how about you?
The funny thing is I just got into Sopranos. And y'all know how that happens sometimes when you're late to the party and you come into something that's been old and you're into it, and then all of a sudden, because you're late to the party, things line up. You're like, oh, there's new content, and it feels like it's like right next door to it, but it's like, bro, really, this has been gone for 15 years, and they just dropping this. But for me, it was like, oh, it was perfect. So I was excited. I was stoked. I remember watching it on my phone because that's how my first time watching. I watched a lot of Sopranos on my phone, and there was a lot of quiet days in the house because I was locked in. It had me by the chokehold, bro. And so when I first seen it, I was stoked. I'm like, and then of course the poster, like who made Tony Soprano. That opening scene, and I'm not getting into the like our notes, but like just the opening scene, hearing the Christopher Moltisanti voice, I'm like, I'm doing Birdman hand rub. I'm like, oh shit, here we go, bro. We here. So I remember just that excitement for it. Like I was super stoked. I'm like, and again, at this point, I had already not only watched The Sopranos. I think that was after my second time around watching Sopranos, because I watched it back to back, and then also going through Talking Sopranos. So I listened to most of their episodes. So getting all of the context, hearing David Chase interview, and understand David Chase always wanted to be a movie maker. So all of that, I was like, oh, he's finally, his dreams is coming out, and he's finally doing it. So I was super stoked about the fact that this was happening.
I agree with you, man. I think everybody who was a Sopranos fan was excited for this. I mentioned it earlier. The disappointment was you build it as Who Made Tony Soprano, and it wasn't that. It was really the Dickie Moltisanti story. Um, I forget which one of you said. I think Spike when he mentioned which one should be the movies. That's you tell the Who Made Tony Soprano story in the third film.
Yep.
When you actually focus on that. And I think that's part of the issue of why I never forget my first time watching this and just thinking at the end, like, what happened? Like, what was this? Like, we bounced around too much, and I think they had way too many stories they were trying to tell in one.
Yep.
And this is gonna sound weird to say as a black man. I really didn't need the black perspective in this because, as interesting, I know what he was trying to do. Like I said, that's why I said I think his idea for that movie about the four white guys trying to avoid the Vietnam War, I think he tried to combine that, and I think he did that before Sopranos. And then once you have that Sopranos, you're trying to combine those two worlds, and it just doesn't work. Mainly because if you're going to bring all these characters, we want to see what they think about everything. And we already know what they think about everything because it is what it is. Like, you trying to tell this story about Harold, and when you really think about the Harold and Dickie confrontation and, them going back and forth, it never really even got resolved. So it leaves you with like, what do we do this for? What was the point? Like
Yeah.
these Italians don't care about the riots. You know what I mean? What are they doing? What are they doing not sleeping till noon? Like, that's what they think. So they don't really care about police beating up a black dude. Like, it is what it is. So it was just kind of, I get it, but the war wasn't emphasized. You got to pick a story, and they didn't do a good job of that. So I remember it being disappointing. This is my first time rewatching it since my first watch.
Same.
Back in
Same here.
2021.
So
And
I've never watched this more than this was my second time watching this.
same.
And still the same feeling sits with you. It's like, and we are the black perspective on this podcast. It still feel like David Chase was responding to criticism of how black people were portrayed in The Sopranos.
He still didn't get right.
That's the frustrating part about it, Mo.
Yes.
It's like you heard this criticism. You know how racist, as fans of The Sopranos, we can all sit here and say we've said it throughout Good Earners podcast history. The Sopranos is a racist ass show, not just from the characters portrayed on scene, but how they're even written.
Yeah.
It's racist.
Yeah.
Like, we've all came to that agreement. And the response to that was this. It's too heavy-handed. Like, bro, come on. Like, now you placating the black. Like, come on, we don't need this shit, bro. Like, we don't got to see this in this world. And that's what was lost upon this film is you took us too far out of the Sopranos universe with the riots and the black, like, storyline. Like, we didn't need that, bro. That's not what we here for. We know you racist. It's already established,
Yeah,
bro.
we
Just
definitely
lean
know
into
it.
this
It's
shit. Like, we got it. We got it, bro. Don't try to come back to our side. We cool.
Yeah. Stay over there. That's cool.
Straight up. Yeah, try to give this character a compelling story and background. It's like, this ain't real. This ain't authentic. It don't feel
No.
You just did this.
Yeah, it didn't feel real. So
I got plenty of notes
ahead.
when we get just on that. Like, I got plenty of notes on how when you're trying to like finesse that you're not racist and you think you understand and you still really don't. There's just little subtleties still in the film where I'm like, you really
you're racist, bro.
Yeah, like, bro, you did not.
You're
you
racist.
Still didn't consult. Like, all right. Anyway, go ahead, Rich. Man.
Nah, man. Let's go ahead and get into the movies. And for those out there wondering how we're going to do this, obviously you're used to our show where we do scene by scene breakdowns. That is not going to happen here. Spike, myself, and Mo
No.
are going to rotate between our favorite scene. We're going to try to keep it chronological and really main talking points. It's not necessarily favorite scenes, it's more so scenes that are worth talking about and mentioning. So if you see in this movie, you kind of know what's going on. We don't have to go over every single thing. But who has, I'll tell you right now, the first thing that I have written down that's really worth mentioning to me is Janice's confirmation. I don't know if anybody
That's what I
has
have too.
anything. Okay, then got you.
Same.
So obviously before that, we get Christopher Moltisanti, which I think is very interesting. This is Chris talking in the afterlife. His disdain for Tony, which we knew, but it was more so I'm already checked out. I really don't like this fat motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like I really don't like him. And going back and thinking about his story, I don't like him even more. The little fat kid, that's my Uncle Tony. Like when he moved to the suburbs, he was more of a pussy. Like all that shit, man. He really had to disdain. We also meet Harold. All we need to know is that Harold works for Dickie, which is pretty interesting. But we get to the confirmation, and that's the big thing for Soprano watchers, Soprano viewers, fans of the show, because I've always said it. Watching TV shows over is like visiting friends. And this is like seeing your friends. It's almost like seeing your uncles and your aunts before you were born. Like what was
Yeah, right.
like back then. And getting the glimpse, I think Sopranos did a great job of Tony reminiscing and obviously in at the end and one longing for the days that his father came into power. And here we are getting a chance to see it. We heard so much about it, but now we get to see it. Mo, I'll let you go ahead and take over. What did you like about this scene?
Just you know, we see more characters that we're familiar with. We see Johnny, Tony, Janice, Livia, Junior, Silvio, Puss, Big P, we call him. And I Paulie, and I just like that they're talking business. It's very reminiscent of the series. Like I love the reason we love Mafia lore so much is in film and television. It's just when they get to talking business, it's like there's an art to how they present it and have a conversation. Even though I know this exists and it happens and it did happen, it's just an art to how they do it, and I like to see that they're doing this, and they always have done this. We talked about the Big Dog Sacramone wedding, how they were still talking business, and he blew a whole bag to look out for his daughter. Because I mean, that's what do we do it for? I like when they talk business at a big event. It just keeps you reminded that like things still are happening when other things are happening. So it was just that, just being able to see some of the characters we were familiar with. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Even though they are caricatures to the extreme, but it was good to get that
Absolutely.
introduction.
Spike Lee, what about you?
A lot of things. One, we get to see Johnny in action. Like the whole Tony and Janice connection of about how we grew up and how fucked up it was. We see that. We see that with some of the snide remarks that Johnny makes. We see Tony's mom and how she acts like she's been this way the whole time. We even get to see Janice in a different light. Like Janice wasn't always like she was a young, like attractive girl. Like
Just
that.
like
We
Tony
we we
described her.
haven't we haven't seen that. And to see that and to see Tony's dad be like, nah, you need to go upstairs and change. And somebody being like, nah, that's how they dress nowadays. That old interaction, how Christopher as a baby is responding to him. I feel like that's a
Oh, we
little
had a different.
overhanded.
You further down, brother.
Oh, I thought what that ain't what you
No,
talking about?
no, we're so Janice confirmation. He's not even born yet. We're talking about when they were outside.
Oh, okay, I got you. I got you. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean well,
I know where
mine
you're at.
wasn't this scene. Mine
Okay,
wasn't this scene. It was a later scene.
okay,
Okay, then got you. Well, I'll go ahead and just talk about just kind of meeting these characters, like you said, characters we know. So it does have the benefit of not being a movie where you're introducing them. We know them if you watch the show, right? Knowing that Junior's always been a weirdo, like little small subtle things that they
oh
put in there,
man,
right?
oh man.
So when Dickie, like Livia sees Dickie and said, you know what I mean, looking, he said something, she said something to Dickie, and he said, yeah, you're looking like $1 million. And Junior, like, yeah, not Mexican dollars either. And like, what? What are you talking about? Like, just weird stuff, trying to make jokes. The relationship between Tony and Dickie, I think that really emphasized that, which made sense with the show. Because we know Tony revered Dickie.
Yeah.
Like, he really did. And it was cool to see that. Some of the things I didn't like was, like I said, the caricatures.
Yeah.
Which was Silvio. He did a great job. He did a great impression. I just think it was a little bit too much, almost too on the nose. And the same thing
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah,
Paulie.
yeah,
Like it was a bad Paulie. Dude who played Paulie was a bad Paulie Walnut impression. And he
yeah.
spent a day with Tony
Sirico.
Sirico just to kind of get his mannerisms down. He tried to get it, but it was still like, all right, man, I don't know if you get there all the way
Yeah,
there.
he ain't quite.
Also,
He
one
wasn't
thing,
committed like the other dude.
also one thing that I was curious about, and maybe I just had it wrong from the original show. I was under the impression that Tony and Pussy came up together. Not that Pussy was so much older and running with
Yeah, I agree with that.
Silvio, Paulie. Is you think that's victim of Chase not knowing his own work?
Bruh, I got.
That's a good point.
I have so many notes on things that bother you, so I'm just
Okay,
gonna.
then
I'm gonna leave that there.
we'll save it. We'll save it. But it's just cool to see the crew
No, I
together,
think
like
that's
and
yeah.
knowing that hey, what we see in 1999 all the way to 2007, they've been doing this since the 60s, right? They've been doing this since the 60s. So some of these dudes are just on it. Livia still is a scumbag, ain't shit. Just ash. If I ain't mistaken, man, she might have ashed that cigarette in the fucking in
In the baby
Barb's
crib,
carriage.
it looked
Yeah,
like.
like you just a
She was
sicko, man.
blowing the smoke at Barb, bro. Like, I was
That's what
like,
I'm
"Is there a baby
saying.
in there?" I didn't know what she was blowing smoke at. I'm like, "Yo, is there a baby in there?"
Yeah, so that's supposed to be the baby in there, and you know, obviously Hollywood Dick is, which is somebody we don't know.
And I'm just gonna call him Hollywood. I'm gonna keep it a bean,
She dumped the butt on Barb's head if there's a baby in there, bro.
Yes,
bro.
I think that has to do with that's how people were in the 60s, as far as
Sicko,
just smoking
Oh
everywhere.
my
sicko.
god.
She
Like
was a sicko.
it's real sick, real sick. Also, if we move on to the next scene, the one that I have is Harold at Satriel's,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
I
so
just found it
that was
very.
Satriel's.
That was Satriel's. Yeah, they had the storefront on the outside. I don't know, man. We saw how these dudes were in the 2000s. I don't know if Harold just walking in Satriel's like that,
Mm-mm.
right? The only time we really saw it was the pastor when he did the turkeys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Harold just walking in, no knock, no nothing. The whole room got different.
He's not.
He's
He's
not,
not.
right? He's not. Like, you know what I'm saying? The tension in there. I also like the fact, once again, he mentioned this kid, Willie Overall, that's been giving him problems. Or, yeah, Leon Overall. Is he supposed to be in relation to Willie Overall, which is the dude they had to dig
That,
up when they went to Miami?
it was the
Paulie
first
and
for Tony's first
Tony's
hit.
first hit?
Gotta be.
Got to be a relation, right?
Gotta be.
Back.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So,
Good callback.
yeah, I saw that, and I love the joke when he said, you know, you sure you ain't got no. We kind of learned how these two dudes even became cool. They went to high school together, played on football together. Obviously, Harold started working for Dickie, but he made the comment like, "You sure you ain't got no black in your blood?" He's like, "No, that's Sicilians. I'm the Neapolitan or something." And old dude, I think his name was Buddha. He got so offended by that.
Bro.
Like Junior looked up everybody like, bro, why you so buddy buddy with this Mooley? You know what I mean? And Dickie
Bruh.
seemed like, you know what? I grew up. See, is younger than him. He grew up in the integration when schools
Yeah.
was integrated and all that, and kind of, you know, that's more of his life. He
We're
knows how
coming
to
up on
separate
Martin
them.
Luther King, about to be, you know, it's like
Yeah,
right before.
exactly, man. So yeah, this is 1967.
Oh,
So
it's
all of
67.
that,
I thought it
man.
was 60. My bad.
This is 1967 because this is when the riots happened, if I'm not mistaken. But
Okay.
also put the battery in Harold's back on some like, you letting this little kid rob you, bro? You like, you ain't ashamed of that?
Bruh.
Like, you gonna let this shit slide? It reminded me of a scene in The Wire when Marlo told this dude, was like, hey, bro, I know one thing, man. When I had my corner and something happened, man, I damn sure made it right. I wasn't doing nothing till I made it right. And it was kind of that same talk, especially when you look at the racial aspect of it. I think his girl even told him, played by Patina Miller, like, he done turned you into his house nigga. Like, you do
Yeah.
his dirty work. That's what you
Yeah.
here for. And Harold, this is the black, and this is something that David Chase, I don't think, is qualified to talk about or even tell the story in a proper way. But this is the Black Power movement, Black
Right.
Panthers, all of that, bro. Like, we not just sitting here. And he gets into it when he says, "Hey, man, no more numbers for Whitey, all that."
Yeah.
But we kind of see that building up, but you wouldn't know it. There would be a little bit more intricate detail if you had a black person who was helping to write the story and really give more of a perspective on it. But I thought just leading into that, him shooting Leon, which I thought was insane. Like, you walk into a recruitment office with a shotgun and gun this dude down. Like, how bad did you want him dead?
Go back for a second. I want to make sure I understand something correctly.
Yeah.
Because I thought that it was a smart play by Dickie when he was outside talking to him, and he's like, "You're not embarrassed by what you just said?
Yeah.
Like, how are you working with me and I'm here, and you telling me that some kid is giving me like you can't handle this?" I
Oh,
feel
it's
like that
definitely
was
smart.
good. Okay, got you.
Oh,
Okay,
it's 100%
He said a
smart. I'm saying
punk
Harold.
street gang. Like
Yeah.
I'm organized crime.
yeah, and these people are giving you problems.
These are
Like,
teenagers.
how are you even in business with me?
Yeah.
I would approach it the same way, like
Oh
even if
no,
black or
Dickie
white.
wasn't wrong.
Okay,
What I was
got
saying
it,
was the perspective of Harold as a
got it.
black man
Understood.
in the '60s, as all this like Black Power movement is like rising up. At some point, you're gonna be like, bruh, who the fuck is you talking about? I should be embarrassed.
Okay, got you,
You know
got
what
you,
I mean?
got
All
you.
that kind of stuff. So Harold took it right. But if I was Dickie, 100%, like, what you
Yeah,
doing? Like,
okay,
what are you doing? Like,
understood.
you letting this kid rob you? This nigga's 16 years old, 17.
Facts.
You can't get a
Yeah.
handle on this?
It's
Right. You,
crazy
you
too.
you should have more. Yeah.
Because
And it
even
runs
then,
downhill. Go ahead, Mo.
well, even then, because Harold was trying. I feel like even though he was, doing criminal actions as well, he was trying to have grace for the dude. Like I'm beating his, I'm gonna beat his ass. Because he really, I mean, he's still like, yo, it's still my people, like low key, even though it's his business. But then, like after that, he's like, okay, now it become a prideful thing. Color goes out the window. Now I'm about to blow you away with this shotty. You know what I mean? But like, I feel like Harold, when he first whooped the kid up, it was like, I'm because it's a tricky situation. Martin Luther King already gave his speech. We're going towards something, and now it's like I'm still working with the Italians, and now like, bro, you ain't about to play me. Let me show you what I'm really about. And obviously hit him with the shotty in front of the army dude, and the army dude like, hey, like,
The war wasn't mine, dude. But I think one of the main issues, well, two things. One, as we all know from just watching organized crime shows and movies, shit rolls downhill. Money rolls up, shit rolls down.
yeah.
When they were at Janice's confirmation, remember, Dickie gave Johnny a light envelope. And Junior and Johnny was like, man, you got to get a hold of this. I can't go to DeMayo with this light envelope all the time, bro. Like, what's going on? Get your arms around this and let's put something to rest. And from Harold's point of view, when he was talking to his girl, it was on some like, he's got me doing his dirty work. Like, I'm the person, he got this complaint with it, but he don't want to take care of it. I'm the person that's got to take care of this shit. I don't want to kill this young black kid. I want to rough him up. I want to beat him up. It ain't that deep to me. I don't think he needs to die. But also, if you were going to be in business with the Italians, this is the type of shit that needs to get done. Like, and that's what you're gonna do. Like, we're not doing your dirty work. Like, you gonna kill this little nigga.
But see, I think that's one of the problems that y'all are speaking to with not having black people in the room and writing this. Is not in a sense it is him doing his dirty work indirectly, but as we could all speak to as black men, like the first position that you're taking here is like you're not about to play with me. I like fuck what he got going on and who I kick up to or the shit rolling down here. Like you're playing with me personally. Like you don't know what I got going on. You don't know like from the sense of you pulling up and trying to rob me or do this to my people. Like you're fucking up my business. It ain't got nothing to do with Dickie business because it start with me. I'm the man in this hood, and they didn't portray that well. It made it look like he was being a dude boy because dude was playing with him. Like, don't play with me. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with who I'm talking to or who I kick up to or none of that. Like, I'm the man right here, and you fucking up what I got going on. And they didn't do a good job of explaining it.
Nah. Golden State running practice at my house, nigga. What am I about? Nah.
But it also, you could also argue that Harold's character was conflicted. Once again, going back to what Spike just said, you need somebody to kind of talk about what that character is going through during that time because the world is changing. This man wants to go to Vietnam. He wanted to go and said, "Oh, I had 2 felony convictions." And his girl looking like, for what? Only people dying over there is black people. And we all know the story as black men. Like, you fighting for your country, you come back, they calling you a nigga to your face and won't even let you sit down at a restaurant to get a meal.
Shout out to Muhammad
you
Ali.
put it on the line. Not to mention, yeah, somebody gonna get a Medal of Honor. Nigga, not no black man. Like, so it's crazy that she could see that, but he was so wrapped up in this like American dream that he thought it was real. And that's part of the reason why his character even turns, because he's realizing, oh, I've been buying into what they told us that, hey, you can do anything if you apply yourself and you really follow these rules. And it's like, nah, you still a nigga. You still a nigga.
In a cool.
And that's what made this kind of like off-putting and still leaning to the same racial stereotypes that people gave David Chase criticism for in the series. Like, black men don't think like that, bro. Like, my dad told me a long time, like we seen the fucking In Living Color skit when he redid the Army song. As far as like the whole little get a messed up life and you're living life in the Army, like just talking about the Army wasn't a place for black men. There weren't a lot of black men who were thinking like Harold was thinking, and then they didn't dive into it either. Like, I've always been told as a black man, like, nah, you don't want to go to the Army, bro. Like, that's your last resort. That's your last resort.
Yeah,
if you ain't got nothing going on and you trying to stay out of jail or something like that, then it ain't never been like, I want to go fight in Vietnam and win a gold. Like, bro, I don't give a fuck about none of that. But they were portraying his character as someone who believed that. And where did you get that from? Because black people don't teach each other that.
But see, what could have helped in that is what school did he go to? Because obviously he went to school with Dickie. So then what school did they? People? Yeah. So then what? But what school? What was the culture? Because if you give us that, then we're like, okay, he was in an integrated school when it was rare for black people to do that. Then we'd be like, okay, so he kind of got caught in the sauce of equality, even though it wasn't equal, but he thought he could, but we didn't get that, like you're saying. So yeah, bro.
That's a great point. That's a great point. You got just enough to think like, oh, maybe this American thing can work out for me. Maybe I can get my slice of the apple pie.
No.
And then you realize, like I said, you still a nigga, bro. This don't work like that.
Yeah,
this don't work like that. Yeah, this was forced. Like, we didn't want to go to school with you. Like, if it was up to us, we'd still be segregated. That's a whole other conversation about what integration did for the community.
And then to me also, just, I know we're about to move on to the next thing, but I just don't see it. I get even in the 60, 67, I just don't see it being realistic for him to just walk right into a building and shoot somebody with a shotty, even if it's a black dude. I just feel like, he would have waited for him to come out, then shoot him. Like, just going right in and doing it. Like, bro, this is still law enforcement. Like, a black man in the 60s still know what time it is. Like, we're still out. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, this is before the riot. Like, come on, man.
In an Army recruitment office, I can see, even if you try to say, like, he went to the gas station. Bro, you walking in a recruitment office and you just shaking a shot. Not even a 22.
Bro,
not a 9. You brought a full ass shotty and killed this dude in front of this officer.
Because David Chase think niggas is that ignorant. We just,
at least they put a warrant out for him. You get what I'm saying? Okay. At least they put a warrant out for him. I got a whole bigger gripe when we get later in the movie about one of the characters, one of the side characters they did.
Okay, fair enough.
That had his own movie, and like, bro, if you watch the movie, you know this nigga don't look like that.
Frank Lucas.
Yeah,
we know exactly who you're talking about. I had to look it up, and I said, "Oh, y'all fried."
But they tried to throw the code on him. They tried to throw the code on him to make it up for it.
Nah, because they mentioned it, and I'm thinking
Bumpy
like
Johnson, y'all, just Bumpy Johnson.
Yeah, or making Nicky Barnes.
No, you talking about Frank Lucas?
Nicky Barnes.
Frank Lucas? Well, Frank Lucas.
No, I'm
talking
about Frank Lucas. But what I'm saying is, you could have made that Nicky. Nicky was known for being flashy. Like, that's just a lack of not paying attention to the characters that you're putting in.
Looks
like, yes, like people know
he didn't
that
have
whole
the fur
suit.
coat on at the farmhouse, bro. Like that was a one-off thing.
He wasn't a flashy nigga, man. He went years without being noticed because he wasn't flashy. Yeah, you know that from the movie, but anyway, man, that's neither here nor there.
Oof.
The one thing I did want to mention, just moving forward, as far as the next scene, and if y'all got something before this, let me know. But the playland, I do appreciate the fact that we got to see a scene in the movie that we also saw on the show.
All of the Easter eggs were great. All of the shooting through the hair, all of the things that we heard about on The Sopranos, getting to see them play out in this movie was one of the few things that this film did really well. It made you feel like, as someone who like all three of us love The Sopranos, you see this, you're like, oh, that's cool. So yeah.
Even small stuff like Tony in the yard when they moved to the suburbs playing with Tiffany.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Which we heard about in Camelot. You know what I mean? Like, we see Johnny taking him for a walk. We see Tony playing with him. Like, that's a small little subtle thing. But you did mention you had a dog growing up. I appreciate the continuity of it, even if you dropped the ball in other areas.
Well, here's what I'm saying. I think the scenes in this that were remembered in the original show it works, but the recreating off of flashbacks we already got, I don't think we needed it.
That was cheap.
You didn't like the playland scene?
It was fine, but we already got that flashback exactly. Like it looks exactly the same with different actors. We don't need, y'all already showed us that. Like shooting in the hair, that was a memory talked about in Soprano home movies. So now we got to see it play out. Anytime they talked about it, but we didn't see it, cool. But when we already seen it and y'all playing it again, it's like, again, that's what it speaks to the lack of direction. You didn't know where to go with it. You had some people in your ear that went back maybe and watched and said, oh, we got to put this in there. We got to put that in there. I don't think it was needed. Like, not the stuff that already played out. We already seen this. Like, I'm glad they didn't do more of that, because if we had seen the hospital scene all over again with Livia and Johnny, and then he had to having a lie for Johnny, I'd be like, bro, we already seen this. Like, so I that part I just don't like.
Actually, I'm not mad at you for that, Mo, because it wasn't a long, significant scene. It was literally just a flashback just to say, hey, remember this? Here's what happened in real life. So, yeah, you're right about that. We know about the riots happening, as I mentioned. That's kind of the main driving force of the controversy between or tension between Black people and Italian Americans at the time. So we get the riot scenes. But the next scene that we got to talk about, we see Hollywood kick his new wife down the steps and this, that, and the third. We see a scene between Dickie and old girl just kind of talking out back about, my dad, he used to hit me as a kid, blah, blah, blah. And she gives him a kiss. But when Dickie goes to confront his dad in the car, we got to talk about this. Mo, I'm going to throw the ball in your court for this one. How nasty or believable was this?
Well, the reason it's believable, the part of it that's believable that he lost his cool is because for a few reasons. We get the insight that his father had beat on him a lot as a kid. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, this is where this damaged kid comes from. This is where this hidden anger, this impulsiveness comes from. And then we see that in Christopher Moltisanti in the actual Soprano series. It all lines up and it tracks perfectly. So him actually like losing his cool and like slamming his father's head over it. And then right before he did that, he came to him, and I think it was more so about what he did to his mom more than, oh, I want your wife, because he said I ain't letting that slide. You used to do that to moms all the time. And then what triggered it obviously was when Hollywood said, I'm used to marrying sluts, and then at that point he lost it. Obviously,
to say that about your moms, hey, you got that from your mama's side.
I don't care who it is, bro. That if I hear that, we're gonna have a problem today. So, and I was like triggering him to start slamming his head into the steering wheel. So for me,
but okay, to play devil's advocate, like, but who are you, Dickie, to come to, like, bro? These is my, for lack of a better, these is my bitches, bro. Like, what the fuck you coming to me talking about this shit for? You my son, these are my chicks. This how I get down. They cool with it. Don't come to me talking about you can't treat her some way or nothing like that. Like, you don't even have the qualifications to quote Benny Siegel. You ain't even qualified to talk to me about this, bro.
You have right. You have right.
Okay.
The new wife, yeah. The mom,
even your moms,
nah, because now like, he's of age.
Like again, bro, our parents had lives before us.
Whatever happened there,
I'm with you, Mo. Me and my dad would square up probably if he told me that about my moms. Who I love,
facts. Like, wait, what?
We squared up. Like, I don't give a fuck what happened before I got here, my nigga. It's still my mom's. But you still can't come like call me out on it, bro. Like you got a little too much dip on your chip, bro. Like you can't come to me in my garage talking about how I treat my wife, especially now since it ain't your mom's. Get out of here, little nigga.
That's why I said that. That's why I said that's the side I feel like, yeah, I'm with you.
And as soon as I brought her up that boat and you and little fat Tony came to pick us up, I saw that you wanted to fuck her.
I seen you looking at her, nigga. One of
So
my quotes,
bro. But he was like, bro, you should have known what it was. Your old ass is coming here with a fine young thing, like she probably younger than Dickie. It's like, bro, what you thought?
Cause I'm that nigga. You need to respect your daddy as being that nigga. Don't come to me talking. I'm not even receiving your questions, bro. Get out of my face. I don't want to hear none of this shit. One of my quotes, and I don't want to blow it because we get to it later, but nigga, I give you permission to jack off to her now. Like, nigga, get the fuck out of my face, nigga.
That's real.
Talking to.
That's why I love doing this. That's why I love having these conversations, because it really depends on what side of the aisle you land on.
Yeah.
Because if you're looking at it from Dickie's point of view, you're absolutely right. I can get what he's saying. So when I'm looking at it from, it's storming like crazy here.
Same here.
When I'm looking at it from Hollywood's point of view, like the bewilderment I would have had on my face. Like, put yourself in his shoes. Your son, and it's not your mama. If it was his mama, and I get that's triggered and fueled by that, right? You used to hit my moms, used to hit me. It brings a bad memory. I get it. But you directly talking about you ain't gonna let me. This nigga said she got 2 left feet. What you want me to say? Hey,
is it my fault that she's
with
clumsy?
the real dead serious and you putting the hand in my face? Like, hold on.
Who you talking to, bro?
Her? Man, what the fuck you on, bro? I'll beat your ass in here. Like, why do you care so much? Is it because you want to fuck her? Well, like Spike said, man, I give you permission to jerk off to her. Nigga, picture her when you jerking off. Get the fuck out of my face and get out of my car, bro. Talking gangster and crazy to me.
You lucky you don't get a smack. That's like you lucky you don't get a smack coming to my car talking about this shit, nigga.
There's an old Italian saying.
Yeah, shout out to Sonny, man.
And Hesh.
That's one of my favorite parts of Brock's Tale, man. You lucky I don't give you raise that hand up, man. Fuck out of here. What's wrong with you? Like, for real? What you? If you look at it from Hollywood's perspective, I get it, but I also understand, and I don't. Obviously, I think we all can agree. Dickie had no intent of killing him. That rage just took him to a place that he didn't know how to control, and then it was too bad.
That's when a father ain't fathering, because he.
I like how that. They showed that ran in a bloodline. Like you see, like I could have easily seen Tony, Christopher, like any of them in this situation.
Yeah, Christopher, like I could totally see. I mean, he lost his cool on Adriana. Like before he choked her out. Like, well,
my man's later scene. The writer dude too.
He said
like he really want to kill the writer dude, but like who you talking to?
Oh, right. Yeah, impulsive. Like very impulsive. Yeah, exactly.
And here's another thing. I'm sorry. I don't want to linger on this so we can move on after this. And by no means, to anybody out there listening, by no means am I advocating for any of this.
Right.
But that type of behavior was more acceptable in the 60s. It's already in that culture.
Yeah.
Hitting your girl and all that. We saw that, but especially back then. So for you to sit here and tell me in my car, to tell me, I promise you, if you hurt her again, you going down the stairs.
You made a special trip. This didn't even come up in conversation. You came to my crib to talk to me about me and how I deal with my wife. Nigga, you're my son, literally. Like, stop playing with me, bro.
Balls, dude.
Yeah, like stop playing with me. Who are you talking to? And again, to quote Rich, like, no, I don't condone any of it. No. However, if we're speaking from a sense
world of Tony Soprano,
in the world of Tony Soprano, thank you, Mo. Like in the sense of critiquing this film and the world that they in, bro, you playing with fire coming to my garage. Like you lucky you lucky like you my son. Like you lucky like coming to me talking this shit, you my son, dude.
Hey, let's go back a little bit more real quick. So she's hanging her like what her she's hanging her tampon over the shower?
The douchebag. Those are real, like that's where that term comes from. Like a douchebags.
Hey, listen, I know, but listen,
product,
the level of piss, I'm not a neat freak, but I definitely like things clean around me.
You got to go somewhere, Mo. What do you want her to do? What do you want
I
her
ain't
to
saying
do?
she didn't need to go down the stairs or nothing like that, but I'm just saying like,
What do you want her to do?
but she was like really, but it speaks to, you know what? It's an interesting thing because there's a correlation to me when it comes to when you go back to Commendatory with the woman that was there that was kind of like a female boss at that time, you know, over in Italy.
Why don't we ever include her in the rankings? That's another story for another day.
That's a good point.
Oh, she is up there.
She top 5.
100%.
She top 5.
3. Might be top 3.
So we got so yeah, she's 3. We got
she up there.
I might got her number 1. I ain't gonna lie. She looked like
man,
she.
It's a conversation to be had.
All right, fair enough.
But Kiori run the bracket.
Run the bracket. Oh yes. Rich in his producer bag right now. Yes.
Man,
Run
gonna
it.
call us misogynistic and all that, man.
Man, hey, listen, y'all know what y'all here for on this pod.
What
hey,
you gonna do?
Shout out to Jordan. Like she came in and she stepped in and got in the game. She said, which one of these Soprano characters could actually pull a black woman? So y'all know how we give it up. Like it's all in fun.
Spike said, what are you gonna do?
Right.
I married sluts. What do y'all know?
Right.
Anyway,
saying that about moms is crazy.
That's what I said. Yeah, you had it coming. Like at that point, he was at a pocket just coming to dad. But I think that hearing your wife fall down the stairs was a trigger for him because he probably did that to his mama and didn't say nothing, didn't do nothing. And so hearing that again and finding out that you did that. Don't get me wrong, he's out of pocket, but I think it was a trigger for him. Not so much like I'm trying to be a superhero type deal, but it's like I remember moms falling down the stairs. You say, "Oh, I fell, I slipped. Oh, whatever." And then this happened again, and then she tells you that's what happened. I felt like it just sent him to a flurry of triggers, similar to a later scene by the ocean.
That's 100%.
And like, just to cap in my opinion on this, one. If you're the son, you're speaking from a perception, the perception that you have of your mom. I'm the dad, I'm speaking from reality, bro. So like, even if I let that slip up and shouldn't have said that to you about our marriage sluts, what are you going to do? Like, that's my reality. I've dealt with this lady. I know, like, before you were born, what was going on. It's just a decision that I made to be with her. You speaking from a perception of, oh, this is my mom. I think she's the greatest lady in the world, which may not be accurate. Like, we know all of us now as middle-aged men, like your parents had lives before they had you. And I'm just being a realist with you and hoping that you can take this reality out into the world and be a better gangster in what we do, because I don't want you skipping around here thinking that perception is reality. Reality is reality, my nigga. I'm telling you what it is.
But it's like, but watch your mouth, nigga.
You know her as a mom.
Share that with your twin, nigga.
A great response, bro. Like, yeah, like that.
Share that with your twin. Don't say that in front of me, nigga.
Because as the son, I would be like, nigga, you not. Hold on, I don't give a fuck if it's perception or reality, nigga. I'm gonna smack you with this pistol, and we gonna see who the slut is. Like, stop playing with me. So yeah,
for me, and I said it already, but for me, it was just if you heard her again, you're gonna be the one going down the stairs, and I can see wild. If he was talking about his mom's. Right. Let's talk about my wife now. Even though right or wrong, I get that. Bro, if I was Hollywood, I'd looked at the nigga and said, prove it. I'm going to get her right now. I'm going to get her right now and toss her across this yard. Prove it. Prove it. Because how dare you come to me and tell me how to run my man business.
That's crazy.
Like, it is crazy. I wouldn't do that, man. We don't advocate hitting women. But I could see the audacity on his face. Like, what?
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
You going to send me down the steps?
He was like, man, I want to take a ride with you. Like,
all I could think about was Ralph flying down them steps when Janice pushed him.
Bro, I just thought about Ralph when he was like, is it my fault she's a klutz? Like, bro.
Hey, that nigga really said, hey, she got 2 left feet.
Same thing, like these Italian guys in the mob, bro.
Hey, these niggas make so light of it, man. What can I say? He probably, you know what's really crazy? You know what's really fucked up? Hollywood was probably on something. You know what? I really could have walked down those steps and fucked her up, but I stopped.
Oh,
it really wasn't as bad as
he got the light.
He practiced restraint.
I practiced restraint.
Hollywood was looking at it like, why are you even talking to me about this? Like, she walked away. Like, in another life, she wouldn't even walked away. Yeah, she would have been in the hospital.
Hey, let's keep it.
I was really in my bag.
And let's keep it even more of a being. You did worse with her.
Facts.
Yeah, straight up. And that's a hypocrisy of life, right? We'll get to that later on. Absolutely. Also tells you a lot about I don't know if this is part because you're trying to think on the run. Like, obviously, this was not premeditated, but it also tells me a lot about your thought process when it comes to the alibi, which we see in a later scene with Sal. Well, Sal's like, "Hey, man, my brother's got manicures. Like, you mean to tell me he went to go board up a business that he really don't give a fuck about doing the riots, and he got killed that way? He was boarding up that. I ain't never seen that motherfucker pick up a hammer or a board in my life." And Dickie on some like, oh shit. So this lets you know he didn't really think this out or had enough had enough wherewithal or insight, should I say, to clean up his alibi.
It's similar to, I like this because I think it's similar to when Tony killed Chris.
Yeah.
Or when Tony killed Ralph. Like those, they didn't really get as deep into it as they get into it on the show, but it was those like, I'm telling people what's happening and want y'all to believe this, but there's scuttlebutt behind the scenes to like, nah, bro, this don't seem right. So I think we seen this. This is a good element from the Sopranos universe to add to this movie.
Yeah, it is.
Let me ask y'all, speaking of Sally, what did y'all think about, was that guilt? What was that for Dickie to continuously visit Sally in jail?
I think what he said. Like what he said, he was just trying to do a good deed. Like he was this is where Tony gleams from. I know they didn't really execute it in this movie, but like Tony trying to do good things in the series, it comes from Dickie. Dickie he said, I'm trying to do my good deed. You know, and I think that is the brainchild of Tony trying to do good things, periodically throughout the series. So I just think that's all it was just trying to do some like good deed. And I mean, yeah, I got more.
I'm actually shocked that Sally said he killed a made guy in his own crew and he ain't got touched in jail. Like that's crazy to me.
Okay. I was about to say, there's probably some guys in there. But maybe he was like a real hitter though. Like maybe they like knew what time it was.
I don't know. It could be. The next scene that I have, and like I said, stop me if there's something there.
I only got 2 scenes left. So
all right. It's not really a scene. I just want to point this out. I talked earlier about the disdain that Chris had, just as the voiceover, narration, and stuff like that. Thought it was very interesting when Chris is born. He cries every time he's around Tony.
Okay, now we're getting into where Spike is.
Yeah.
So go ahead,
real
Spike.
quick.
What was your scene?
I just wanted to know did y'all notice when Tony kicked the TV over at the funeral that Carmine was in there?
That wasn't Carmine Lupertazzi though.
Oh, it wasn't
Carmine. No, it was a different Carmine. I forget his last name, but it wasn't a Carmine that we met in the show.
Oh, okay, damn. I don't even.
Yeah, I thought the same thing, but it wasn't. His name was Carmine, but it wasn't the same dude. The credits had him as somebody else.
They whack for that.
It wasn't nobody that we knew. So yeah.
What was the question?
I was going to ask you about. You said your scene. So you mentioned, was it when Johnny came home? Was that your scene when you first started?
Yeah, my scene that I was talking about was when Tony was older. Johnny came home.
Yeah,
and you get to see the older Tony Soprano, Christopher crying every time that he's around him. Them kind of adding that into like there was always bad juju, and it plays out in the show to how Christopher responds to Tony, and we get to see how Johnny was. We get to see a young Janice. Not the Janice that we were introduced to, but a young, more attractive Janice that we could see, oh, okay, I get why Tony feels the way that he feels about her, about his sister being the shit, because she was that when they were coming up. Yep. This whole scene for me was a scene like what y'all were talking about in the sense of you get to see all of these characters that you're familiar with, but you're giving more context within these scenes. And again, great job by the lady that plays Lydia, man. She bodied this. She was in
season 1.
She was in her bag. Well, excuse me, Olivia, excuse me. She was in her bag in the sense of like, this is exactly how I expect a young version of that character to act. And I feel like the studying that she did, even with what's Tony's dad's name?
Johnny.
even with Johnny, like you seen what that it met my expectations. Even with Tony's son, excuse me, Galdolfini's son, all of this stuff, all of their mannerisms, all of those things added up to what we wanted out of the series. And I wish it was more of that throughout this
Yeah.
movie versus the riot shit, because this is where the gold was.
Yep.
And even
Yep.
my
Yeah,
guy Prince, like he did a great job at Junior with the glasses and just the
incredible
dumb
job.
remarks. All of these things were so good, but they didn't do enough of it. This was one of my standout scenes.
The dialect, like they really, like you said, Spike, they really studied the mannerism. It's funny because Michael Gandolfini, who plays Teenage Tony, he had never seen The Sopranos. He was born in '99. He was born the year this show premiered. He had never watched Sopranos, so he watched it in preparation for this role. They had to reshoot a lot of his scenes because he was trying to emulate grown Tony. And
Mm,
David Chase was like, "Nah, you young Tony, bro. You ain't no made, experienced, seasoned gangster. Like, so some of the stuff you gotta scale it back because you ain't
that
that.
makes
This is a
sense.
coming of age type of thing." To your point, seeing Johnny and who he was, and just kind of reliving how much power certain people have in different neighborhoods, right? Like literally, it might seem crazy that Johnny comes home, he see black people moving in, but Johnny really had enough pull. Remember, he looked at Junior and said, "How could you let this happen?" They had enough pull to where if I don't want black people moving in, black people ain't moving in. And Johnny was really upset, like, bro, like, what do you want? What you mean
Like
shrugging
you
your
failed
shoulders on
me.
some?
You
Yeah.
failed me, my nigga.
And like you said, he coming home I did 4 years in the can.
It's that deep,
Living,
bro.
I ain't trying to hear all that shit. It's that deep, man. Like that nigga, the property value went down to Johnny.
It's so the surprise
I ain't
party,
living.
throw everything out the window because there's a nigga down the street.
I ain't
Hey, he's
living
a
next to no fucking Moulignans. Like, what are you talking about?
Nigga
Bro.
said, hey, that nigga said, Olivia said he's a doctor. He ain't operating on me.
He qualified everything, did 12 years of school. You still ain't.
Yeah, he ain't operating on me, man. Got some shiners. Got
uh,
shiners moving on the block.
oh man, the
Hey, Johnny
Not
was
a
dedication.
pissed
doctor.
about that.
Hey, to
Johnny
be
was
Yeah,
pissed
honest
he
about
was
though,
that.
pissed.
it's some things that bother me, but I'll say it here since we're on it. The depiction of Johnny, I just again, this is where it speaks to the lack of going back and rewatching your product because this depiction of Johnny was nothing like the depiction of Johnny in the series
Really? What makes you say
And
that?
what way?
because he wasn't charming at all. There was no charm with this Johnny in the series. He was charming.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you, do you think that attributes to the only Johnny we see is one scene before he goes to jail and fresh out of jail? You think he needs to get acclimated a little bit more before we get to charming Johnny? Like my man
What?
just got out of jail. Like like you come to visit me all these times and you don't tell me these niggas move on the block. Like I'm pissed off, Johnny. I get what you're saying though,
But I
but
feel
I'm
like
wondering if that might attribute to it.
nah, I don't know. It's just maybe they needed more scenes, but it's like the Johnny we got, like he definitely get active with Junior, but it was like this Johnny was so much more of an aggressor than the Johnny that was in the series. You know, when
I
we
think that
get
was done. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
no,
My
I
bad.
just I because even then, even if it's done like this, I don't know how Johnny goes from this aggressor to he's like, oh, I told you I love you. I told you I had to stay at the game, right, Tony? Like that whole like it's a different Johnny in the series. So this has always been a big gripe for me. I'm like, these are not the same Johnny Sopranos to me. Actually, to be honest, this Johnny Soprano would line up more because even then, you see Tony's reaction to Johnny where he just got out, but he's still hanging with Dickie in that scene. He's like, man, go give your old man a hug. Like, go, And so it's like Tony doesn't have like the connection with Johnny in this way like he did in the series. So it makes it different when you go back to those sessions where he's blaming everything on his mom. Because it's like, okay, if he blamed everything on his mom, that means he must have been close with his dad. But based on this movie, it don't seem like he's close with his dad. He's close with Dickie. So that's why I'm like, eh.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it goes back to what I said. Like, if Johnny's going for 40, but even going to that, even when Johnny was around, when we see it at Janice's confirmation, you see it even at the opening of the movie Like you see Dickie like, hey, Tony, come ride with me. It was one of those situations. It's not funny, but I'm always fascinated by how how men looked at women back in them days. Because Spike's mentioned it earlier. When he sees when Janice comes up and says hi, he don't even say hi back. He looks at what she's wearing. Like, man, what you got going on, man? Go wear some
Go
decent
upstairs and
clothes.
change.
And Dickie's wife says all the kids are wearing it. The way he looked at her, like, Broad, why are you talking to me?
Yeah.
He gave her that.
I ain't ask you. Yeah, like this ain't got nothing to do with you.
Remember when Junior hit him with the? Is somebody talking? Is someone talking? Like that's how he looked at her.
Exactly.
Like go upstairs and put like this. First of all, this is my daughter. I don't care what era this in. This is my daughter. Like, I don't care what your 2 cents. I don't care what the kids are wearing. Nigga,
Out
go
there,
get your ass
it's
upstairs
1999, and in here,
It's 1969,
bro.
Yeah, man, that shit's silly, man. But yeah, this is a great scene. Mo, did you have anything else to add to? Obviously, we got the great callback to the he don't got the makings of a varsity athlete. That was in the same scene.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think, oh, Mo, don't tell me you thought that was cheap?
Oh, it's many of these.
I think that was good.
I thought that was one of the things that I could get away with.
You know why it don't work? Because y'all cut too quick. See, when they did, so there's a later scene where Tony is with his mom after leaving the principal's office or whatever, she makes some burgers for him. There's this whole build up between them two, having a conversation like, Mom, I think you should, take this medicine, whatever. And she wasn't into it. They built all this up. I feel like they just built this whole situation up just for us to, oh, poor you, but they spent time building towards, oh, this is the how the phrase came about. When they did that, oh, he never had to make it a varsity athlete, it felt like, oh, again, here's another one of the cheap caricatures. It was cheap. It was cheap. It was just
okay. I'll challenge you. I'll challenge you on both of those. As far as how it plays out. The first one, what I'll challenge you on the varsity athlete thing, we heard that from Junior when he was senile. Like he was going through Alzheimer's and we didn't know if he really believed that. I think it was fantastic adding it in here when he's of sensible mind and body. Like he really believes that. He wasn't just fucking with Tony because he was senile and what we seen in the Sopranos. This is how he naturally felt. So I think adding it in here was a really good, like, it was a cool drop in the bucket. I thought it was a dope callback.
But how did we get there?
I got a small pushback to that.
Okay, go for it, Rich.
In the series, Tony was upset because he said he used to say that when we were kids. So the senile part really ain't got no, because Tony mentioned like he used to say that to the girl cousins when I was a kid. I hated it then and I did. Yeah.
In the pilot episode.
But I think that makes Junior's character stronger, though. I think that adds to what we talked about throughout the series of Good Earners. It's like, is he joking or is he really like old and don't know what he's talking about?
Well, no,
that adds more to that. That adds to that pot in the sense of, is he joking or did he know in that moment in The Sopranos that he was saying that, or was this just some senile shit that he really didn't mean to say, but it's on his mind because it's been on his mind for the last 30 fucking years? I love the aspect of that for this film. Yeah.
But hold on. My only issue is like, no, I never questioned that Junior felt that because it was in the pilot. My thing is, how did you get there? Because there's a later scene you're talking about, let's go play catch. So it's like, how did you get to the point in your mind where you're openly just saying he never had the makings of a varsity athlete? How do you get there? This is why the three,
because I'm looking at him.
But here's what I'm saying.
That's why I'm playing catch with this nigga. This nigga trash.
I know.
This is why the 3 movie deal. This is why the 3 movie deal would be perfect, because that last movie where we're now focusing on Tony, we'll see these things. He got little hands. He went to Seton Hall or whatever. You know what I mean? Now we get that. Now we get how Uncle Junior gets there. To me, we don't get none of that. It's just this random, oh, he never had to make his of. Oh, he said it again in the 2021 movie. Like,
but see, I think that goes to what we talked about as far as Junior being very astute. One of his best traits is he is able to make observations that most people don't see. That's why he was even in the position that he was in. Like, we ain't saying Junior the smartest person in the room. However, he does make observations that he's given to Tony throughout the series of The Sopranos. You're like, oh, damn, I never thought about it that way. And this is one of those things where, like, you telling people that you want to go pro and play football, like, you don't even have the makings of a varsity athlete. I can tell you that. I'm not the smartest person in the room. So I like the callback. However, I do get your point, Mo, is where you wouldn't like it and where people could say, they stretching it. Like, they pandering. And what was the other one?
You say you had a second thing.
I can't remember.
It's in that same scene though. We're still in the household, right?
No, I think it was outside. It was like closer to the next scene.
Okay. Well, we can keep things moving. The next thing that I know that we had written down, or I had written down at least, and if y'all got something before that, was Harold. I just want to mention it because I do want to give, I guess, a little bit of credit. At least they put a scene in of like a rally, like some Black Power stuff that Harold's at to kind of see his motivation and his inspiration. And then obviously Dickie runs up on him and gives him 100, and Harold cool on Dickie, right? And I think his way to get back, especially after his girl is mad about the whole shop and not wanting to put in sinks, is Harold dropping Dick off in Josiana. Like 1960s. This is the 70s now, excuse me. Huh?
That's her name, Josiana?
Yeah, Josiana.
I don't know. I thought it was right? Joanne. I thought it was.
No. It is Josephina.
Oh, Josephina. Okay.
Josephina. Yeah. But we have
Harold
dropping off. I don't know if any one of y'all had the Mr. Softy scene.
I just got Harold protects the shop and says no more cuts for the Whitey as he shoots the guy in the car.
Yeah, real quick before we even get there, Harold dropping off Dick. Yeah, that sounded crazy. But dropping off Dick inside of Josephina, because we didn't see that coming. We saw the stare earlier, and Dickie told her like, "Hey man, they don't like it when you stare." You try to clean it up.
Yeah, come over here and talk to me on this side of the car.
That was one of my scenes. That was one of my scenes.
Really? Like, hey, come over here and talk to me on this side of the car.
Yeah, come up. Yeah.
Bro, you gotta do all that.
I see what's going on right here, my bro. Like, come over here and talk.
If you gotta do all
like
that.
Mo said, if you got to do all that though, it's over already though.
Yeah,
like it's already over.
The battle.
He probably was already hitting her. We don't see the buildup. We just see them in the hotel room. We don't know how it happened. When it
he was like that many times later in the scene. So I was like, damn, I didn't know Harold was getting.
Oh, that's a good point. I ain't know.
Remember, she said she was like, how many times? He was like, it doesn't matter. I was like, survey says.
Because she was peeping him outside, like when he walked in the Yall's.
Early.
She was like, no English. Yeah, no English, I bet, bitch.
Shout out to Jungle.
You speak you ain't even got to speak English to understand what I'm trying to tell you.
I ain't even English.
And it is crazy though when you think about it. Like you pull up on a dude you ain't seen in some years. I heard you was back in town. You pull up and this nigga talking to you and keep going from you to your girl,
looking at your
girl smirking.
Like they don't like when you stare at
Harold, why don't you come out and talk over here to me? Come on,
but look though, he can't even see her face because her head turned to him. He see how you looking at her. Like that's the whole thing. Like, hey, bro, like nah, my nigga, come on, like, come over here and talk to me.
I'm that nigga.
Yeah,
so
hilarious.
He thought the flex. So the flex was, let me give you this 100 bill, which is a lot of money. And obviously at that point they in the 70s, I think. So that's a lot of money at that time. Like, yo, yeah, I'm bringing it back, but it's still like, hey, it don't even matter, bro.
That $100 ain't nothing, nigga. I'm gonna be balls.
The things I'm doing to the love of your life.
Hey, boy.
Remember Four Brothers when Victor Sweet was like, "How about you live that little fine Puerto Rican thing here? I'll teach you some things." With some tricks, more than tricks. Yeah.
Oh man,
that's too. Hey, he told him that's too much woman for you. Hey, come on,
bro.
Man.
That's crazy.
Telling a nigga your girl is too much woman for you,
bro.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
niggas die. Niggas die for shit like that.
I'm building a plan after you say that.
Yeah, niggas die for shit like that.
I'm building a plan.
But that's one of those subtle moments of the movie. Y'all absolutely right, man. We hit him with, hey, man, come to this side.
Hey, come on this side. Like, your insecurities is showing.
Yeah, like, who you talking like? Hey, y'all playing with me right now.
That's like your girl answering the door with no, t-shirt and panties on with you, man. Hold on, whoa, go back outside real quick, bro. Hey, put your clothes on. What you
walking around like it ain't another nigga in the house. Like, hold on.
Yeah, like that's like Chris when he found out that Tony and Adriana was riding out. Like, where was y'all going? Like, nah, it don't matter what happened, matter what people thought. You know what I mean? Same thing.
Yeah, what you doing? Like, great point, Mo. What you doing with my chick headed away from where both of y'all live at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah,
I don't even care if y'all wasn't doing nothing. What did y'all have going on?
What
like,
you have
what?
in mind? Yeah.
What?
Cause if you want to be funny, I can be hilarious. Next time your homegirl come over, I'm wearing gray sweats with no drawers.
Hey,
what's up? we can play them games if you want to. Stop playing with me, man. Yeah,
I definitely use that line in this past week. Like, are you trying to be funny? I'm a comedian.
I'm hilarious. I can't wait to use that, Mo. I've been waiting to use that for so long.
I used it this past week because I was like, "Oh, you playing? You really think it's you trying to be funny? I'm a comedian."
No, you think I won't take it there, do you? Huh? You all right, bet.
I'm going to do that.
Hey, watch these jokes.
Did either one of y'all care about the Mr. Softy scene?
No.
No. Only thing I got left is Harold and his boys do the drive-by on the mob. That's my last.
Right,
what I really didn't get, the only thing that I really didn't get before I guess we get to the end is when he gave Tony the speakers, and he was like, "You got some choices as far as what you want to do moving forward. You can take these speakers." Like, that was really too much for me. I didn't really get how much they were investing into if Tony take these speakers and he's accepting a life of crime versus it's like, I'm just a young nigga taking speakers because I'm going to college.
Yeah.
I feel like that was way too much. They leaned into that way too much and expected us to accept that a lot as Sopranos fans as far as the path that Tony took. Like, I can't accept that being a Sopranos savant and saying, "Oh, this is where he turned the path." Like, nah, bro. It's just, I'm a kid. I took free speakers, bro. Like, this didn't make me a criminal. Yeah. And I think that's what the film tried to say.
Mo, you kind of mentioned it, so we'll tie these kind of a little bit together because they do go hand in hand. You mentioned the scene where Harold takes over the numbers and pretty much like, man, no more cut to Waddy. Your brother gonna be by tomorrow, and that's pretty much a declaration of war when he kills the pickup guy. Going directly into what you said, the shootout. I'll let you go ahead and take it over because you have it written down. There is one thing I want to specifically mention with the cinematography, which was that headshot, beautifully done. That headshot on Buddha, beautifully done. But go ahead.
No, I ain't got much. Again, this is just 40 acres and a mule. It's just kind of like that type of vibe for me. Like, all right,
you killed my cousin, bro. Oh, I'm coming back for everything.
Yeah, it's just some get back. Like that's all it is for me. It's just some get back that I'm enjoying. And I
running.
Yeah, and it's just like the walk down between Harold and Dickie. You know what I mean? Like I just like. And again, they still didn't do justice on the black experience because, again, you didn't consult with black people. Like, you can't convince me you did. But I do like the idea that he was a worthy opponent. I've spoke about this with Massive Genius in season 1. Me and Spike had differences, but it was a great conversation nonetheless. But, as far as, like, going back and forth, but I did like the idea that a black man in this era could really go against Dickie Moltisanti. However, Dickie Moltisanti has some handicaps, so it is kind of like, how great does it make this black man when he has handicaps working against him? So, yeah,
I think that goes. Go ahead, my bad.
No, that was it.
I think that goes with having the backing, right? We got real players now. It's not just the mob. The mob ain't the one that's controlling all the crime, the underworld crime now. Now we got people like Frank Lucas and Nicky Barnes. Like, I got backing, that enough people with enough clout and money and say so to where if I tell them, hey, I'm trying to take over these numbers, bet I got your back. Do what you got to do. So now I can pull up on a Dickie Moltisanti and a Johnny Boy and just start spraying, which is something that you couldn't do 10 years ago. Because remember, we in the 70s now. You know what I mean? At this point. So this is, like, we've taken over, and Newark has changed. Like, Newark is not where y'all live now. Y'all done moved to the suburbs. Black people are taking over there. We saw what Newark looked like in in the Sopranos.
Yeah.
Right? We saw it. So like y'all, this ain't even y'all territory. Y'all ain't got no right to come in here and do this. And just like I got the green light, so that's what we own. And they really had them running.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Y'all think y'all run this now? I know where you stay, I know where you at. And this is what it comes down to. My only issue with it was I said it earlier. And what was the point? Like the ending of this movie, the transition to the third act of this movie was awful. Like they really tried to really focus it on the Tony part where, bro, we went 50 minutes into the movie without even getting teenage Tony. Like you build this as the making of Tony Sopranos. We don't even get James Gandolfini's son, Michael, until almost an hour in. At that point, commit to the story you started telling. Like tell more about the resolution and all that stuff versus you got this scene between Tony and Olivia. I didn't really need that.
The burger.
I didn't really need that in the kitchen. You making him a burger, and I ain't need, you know.
Well, it was too late at that point. It's like this is good, but it doesn't fit to what y'all have already presented an hour and some change at this point.
I didn't need.
It was good. It was good acting by the lady that played Olivia. Like it 1,000,000% resonated as a Sopranos watcher, seeing her go through that, slamming the door, and like Tony being like, yeah, like all of that shit was great. But it just, again, to y'all's point, at this point in the story, like I don't care about this. It's not. This means nothing to me.
No.
I also don't understand. Sometimes there's such a thing as being too honest, man. I have no idea why Giuseppe admitted to letting her
on the beach.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Like, what?
Especially after the date, after the day that they had, like spending the day with each other, him getting back, reuniting with her. Like, bro, why would she tell him that?
We're on the beach, like romantic. I just got finished.
Why would she tell him that? It made no sense.
And what did you think was going to happen?
Because he would have never found out.
Never.
No. That's why I don't get how, that's why I feel like I call BS, because like when we go back to the original series, like Carmela, like when she finally made the reveal to Tony, like I have been dreaming and thinking about. I feel like Furio. I feel like that was like I could say that because I still haven't done nothing. Even though he was about to still take it to a physical level, but I feel like I still haven't done nothing. But I need to find a way to get an edge on. And her coming from all the way to Italy again, obviously, y'all.
And she was trying to hurt him. She was trying to hurt Tony.
Oh yeah, she was trying to hurt. But I'm like, he doing all this like because, like, she said she loved Hollywood, his father. Like she loved him, and knowing all the things she knew. But he changed when they got back to the country or whatever. But like, I just don't understand how she gets there. Like, I guess she's getting accustomed to American culture, but it just feels like, I don't know, the way she was at the beginning versus then. I don't know. Maybe she was trying to really get adapted to American culture and felt like, okay, we're building something. Even though your Gumar, we're building a marriage. So let's start with honesty. Because the business, she said, is like marriage. But I don't know. I don't know. I guess here's our Houston Bell. She thought Dickie was better than Hollywood. And she could have, she never imagined that was a possibility because he never shown her that. Even when he got mad before and he was getting ready to leave, he didn't like put his hands on her, get physical. I imagine he never got physical with her like that. So she always thought he was a better guy than his father. And she didn't realize in that moment, trying to be honest, start with a fresh start because of the business. This is a marriage. She didn't know that was it.
I think that's
a really good.
Go ahead, Spike.
I was just gonna say that's a really good point, Mo, and you're right from a character perspective. But us all being men, women are smarter than that.
I was just about to say that.
True.
No woman would have in that situation said that or revealed that information.
His enemy, like,
yeah, like no woman is gonna do that.
It would have made more sense if
not only his enemy, but a black dude.
Yeah.
Like, nah.
No woman's going to do it. It would have made more sense if this was like an argument scene.
Yes.
She brought it up. But to have a perfect day, and at the end of that perfect day, oh, by the way, your man's that used to work for you,
nigga, that's your enemy.
Multiple times.
That just shot at you.
multiple
And I liked it.
times.
And I liked it. Like, nah,
Yeah,
bro, come on, what we doing?
numerous times. Like, how do you think that was gonna play out? Like, how do you think that was gonna play
What you
out?
thought?
And we seen her getting smart with Hollywood and other people. Like, even when Dickie said, "I'm not gonna buy. Maybe we shouldn't buy this spot." I'm putting a robe on. I got cold all of a sudden. Fuck this lingerie shit. I'm about to get dressed. She knows
She
what
know,
buttons to
bro. She
push.
yeah, she's different. Like, yeah.
So it is weird. Like, all right, man, what you trying to do? You trying to do this fresh start shit? Come on, man, stop that. Keep them
Facts.
see. Hey, listen, ladies,
I
keep that
don't
secret.
wanna know.
Exactly.
Shout out to Mario Winans.
Keep that secret, man.
Thanks,
Keep that
bro.
shit
Like,
G.
I don't wanna know none of that shit, bro.
They say women cheat better than men. Prove it. Shut the fuck up.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool. Keep it to
exactly.
yourself. I ain't gotta
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, definitely keep it on tuck. Because if I find out,
Yeah, because it's a different scenario once you know.
Yeah. And
Especially if she tells you. Like it's
absolutely.
worse. It's worse. Like if you find out it's one thing, but if she tell you and she comfortable with like, yeah,
he's like,
I gotta let you know this.
what
Like,
type, what,
who
who do
you
you
talking
think,
to?
bruh? Who do you think I am?
Like,
That you're that comfortable?
A
again,
cuck.
I'm Mario Winans in the
A cuck
tub,
for
bro. Like, just
sure.
don't tell me. I never want to know.
You hit that on the
Yeah.
nose, Rich.
Yeah,
A
bro.
Yeah,
cuck.
I'm surprised she didn't say you want to watch next time. Like, what? That's what you get into if you
I'm
telling me
I'm
this.
a double back to this in things that bother me because the mentioning of. But go ahead. That's it
The
for me. I don't got no more scenes. So
The only thing I would
Let
just
me
want to
know.
acknowledge because it's a big part of the movie is obviously we get to see how it's talked about in the show. We see how Dickie Montesanti actually died. They did do the callback of yeah he was carrying in gifts for Christmas and the TV tray and all that stuff, but we find out that Junior, while years of believing that it was this officer, Junior was the one because he laughed
Disgusting.
at him for slipping outside of the funeral,
Disgusting.
which is on brand for Junior.
yeah, I remember he
But
wanted to do
it's
for him.
disgusting,
Yeah,
but it made so much
yeah,
sense
it
and it was
lines.
so
Yeah, it's
good
filthy.
for this universe. Like
Hmm.
Real
for
quick,
us,
is this canon for y'all?
what does that mean?
Canon means, do you treat this as a part of the story or not? Like canon is like, okay, this is also a part of the lore, or do you treat it like, nah, this is it's just something else? It's they're taking liberties, but it's not canon. Canon is like it's attached. It's a part of it.
It's attached. I think this
Oh,
is
you treat it
attached.
as
I
canon.
think,
Okay.
yeah, I think that Junior carried this. He carried this with knowing how close that Tony was to him, how he reacted to Tony throughout the series, how Tony was perceived by him throughout the series. All of that is based on I killed your mans and I killed him on some bullshit. But you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm Junior Soprano. And that's how I'm gonna carry it. I don't care what y'all think. And that was Junior's hierarchy, and that was his downfall. Like Junior didn't like this should have never happened. Like Dickie was a much better gangster than Junior. But because Junior had the access to a couple different things and acted on those things, I took Dickie out. And now Tony, the person that he has to look up to is me. And that ain't sufficing to Tony. Like you ain't half the gangster that Dickie was. But I have to now sit with that and go throughout my series of being a gangster with you in the series of the Sopranos is knowing like I took your man's out. And if your man's was here, you would be a much better gangster than you were under my tutelage.
Not
So
to mention, the film did a great job of, like I said earlier, Junior was always a weirdo. We get to see that in the younger age, and Dickie was always fucking with Junior. On some, remember there was that scene when Harold came in the bar when he told Dickie he had to leave and wanted to borrow that $1,000. Dickie was the one that made the comment like, "I don't know about you, Junior, man. Somebody tell you your girl getting fucked by somebody else, and you talking about where did the term gravy train come from?" Like he didn't have to say that, but those are small things that Junior just kept tallying up and tallying up. Like
facts.
this dude fucking with me. Like he thinks shit funny. And even then, right? Because even when I love that the movie did this, just in this Spike, you might have been on to something, man. A Junior story would have been great.
Yeah, I think
Even though we saw him slip and fuck up his back, and we saw the scene of him and old girl in the bed, like Junior had a legitimate reason not to have sex, right? It hurt. However, they did a great job of adding that subtle line, like never, any reason not to fuck. So whether that accident happened or not, it was the same shit. Junior was on some weirdo shit.
Hey, maybe Junior was gay.
He might have been.
Hey, I ain't heard no theory about it, but maybe Junior was gay.
He might have been.
I ain't gonna do that to Junior.
I don't know, but seriously though, like think about it.
He's either
like
really
there's no
awkward.
real like there's no like he had no ambition have kids, no real ambition to get women, Gumars, like
Muff Diver like Junior, he ain't gay, man.
Well, remember what they said about Muff Divers then.
Uncle Junior gets he only had the one. When a nigga only got one, when they got one thing to really point to, it's gonna be
that's his beard. That's his beard.
Jesus.
Hey, yo, I'm about to build a whole Junior theory.
Hey, y'all might be right, man. I never read it that way. But
I never did either. Right. But now I'm starting to think, like, you know what? I gotta watch the series with that context.
I wouldn't have started, and you know what I thought about? I thought about Vito. Remember his Gumar? You'll never want to fuck. That's the same thing old girl said to Junior.
See?
But see, I receive what y'all are saying, but I take it from Junior in the standpoints of he's just so over anxious and so like thinking out things, even with the shit with Dickie and why he killed him. Like he's in his head so much. Like sometimes it's hard for niggas like that to have a real intimate to have a real intimate connection. It ain't got nothing to do with them being gay. It's more so got to do with them being in their head so much and not even thinking that they could do what they're supposed to do as men. Like
and a lack of confidence, a strong lack of confidence.
And the lack of confidence. But that great point, Rich. The lack of confidence and being like, I can't even fuck her like I need to fuck her to make her feel like, oh, I'm Junior Soprano. Like you gotta keep in mind, in the streets, I'm this nigga. Y'all see me fall. I'm mad because Dickie laughed at me falling, and then even going back to the chick. It's not so much as I can't fuck you. It's more. Well, excuse me. It's not so much as I don't want to fuck you, but I can't. And he's reacting to that. I feel like more so in the sense of him not wanting to fuck her.
Well, look, like the fact that going into the series, Junior would meet up with Roberta, and they would go out to Boca once a year. This is the thing they did for 16 years. How many interactions is he having in between that?
He's 60 years old, though, Mo.
Okay, but 16 years, he was
60.
What?
At 60, think about and you married. Like, think about like niggas ain't aggressively trying to get pussy at 60
44 when it started, though. He was 44 when it started.
Niggas ain't even aggressively trying to get pussy at 44. I ain't gonna like that. That's not a thing though. That's a young nigga be aggressive, thing.
But it's like that. I need that. I need that in my combination though. I need that in my like. I'm doing these things, but it's like
I'm still Junior Soprano too. Like I'm not going to the bar like expecting to pick a bitch up and fuck her that night. Like that's not my bag.
But remember the old chick that was like trying to rub his feet and take care of him, and he was just like flat out dissed her all the way out.
But remember the nurse chick who was the Fed.
Yeah, but that was on some like I felt like wasn't Tony around when he was like trying to get that off? Because Tony was looking at him like
all the time. Not all the time. I think that was genuine to him. Like, oh, you know what? Like, you look cute. you cute. I at 67 years old, if you're trying to give me a hand job, I'll take it. Like that's what he was on.
Hey, listen, y'all are listening.
Y'all listen to what y'all.
If there's any theories at all, because I'm not even saying that he is gay, but it is a interesting theory because the more I'm looking at this and how weird he was, even with what's her name? The Happy Birthday, Mr. President. Damn, what was her name?
She said Junior was shooting at her. She even said Junior was shooting at her.
Yeah.
And the girls that were say Junior was after say this nigga's a creep.
Yeah, like,
I think that
see,
might
but
go
that's what I'm saying. That's what makes me
I think he weird. He weird. He ain't gay.
He could be weird, but it make me think that like you're trying to because she was bad back in the day.
There are niggas that overcompensate. You're right. I get that lane that you're going down, Mo, but I don't think Junior was one of those niggas. There are niggas that overcompensate because they trying to deal with what they got going on. But I don't think that they were trying to paint Junior in that light. I think they were just trying to more so paint him as a weirdo versus, oh no, I like men, and so I'm trying to overcompensate and do this with women.
Because we did kind of feel like he was remember in the series, and we're moving on. In the series, we did feel like, okay, is there something between Junior and Olivia? Remember there was a moment for that?
Even that,
so then it's like now you look at this and you go
that go to him being a weirdo.
Okay, so going back to the original question, I would say Junior's storyline is canon, but every storyline in this show is not canon, and that's a weird place to put a whole movie to depict plots as what's canon, what's not, because now it makes it weird. Because I don't think all of the Paulie, Silvio, Puss, none of that is canon. Christopher is not canon. Livia, I would probably say canon. Johnny, I wouldn't say canon. I think so it's a hard thing to say. So anyway, but Rich, it's in your hands, brother.
Best quotes. Mo, we'll start with you.
All right, I got a few quotes. On one hand, you can't even believe I don't know what I was typing there. But on the other hand, they don't even have on one hand you can't even believe the beauty, but on the other hand, they don't even have toilets over there. That's Hollywood. Another quote, why aren't they at home sleeping till noon? Which you said earlier from Dickie.
That shit's silly, man.
I didn't know they had Jews in the Middle Ages. Well, the Bible, that's obviously Dickie and Tony. Oh, you didn't hear? We're off the plantation. We got wops digging ditches since they came over here. That's from Harold. All I want to do is bang my gumar and go to sleep.
Hey, that's a cold line. Hey, all respect to the married people out there. But Johnny said the first thing I want, as soon as I get out, the first thing I want to do is bang my gumar and go to sleep.
Because I ain't got to have no.
I'll see my wife later.
I don't have to have no conversations, no nothing. I got where he was coming from. My last one is, the song, My Favorite Things. Maybe the things you do aren't God's favorite. But what do I know? I'm a murderer.
Fair enough, man. Spike Lee, you got anything to add?
One of the ones that stuck out to me is be slow to speak, and only after having first listened quietly, so that you have understood the meaning, leanings, and wishes of those who do speak. That was just, I can't even remember who said that, but I just looked it up as far as the best quotes for it. But yeah, that was one for me. And then when the chick was fucking the black dude, and she said in Italian, like, to have sex with a black dude, and that whole thing he said there, that those are the two quotes for me.
Yeah, y'all said everything that I had written down, so I'm not gonna double down on them. Scene stealer. Spike Lee, you got anything?
I'm about to say, why don't you start that since we covered everything?
Oh, for scene stealer. So I won't call it a scene stealer. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna use this as which younger version of the character portrayed the original Sopranos character the best to me. And it could be a tie, I think, between Livia and Uncle Junior. I think both of them nailed those characters to a T. Like to a T. Like nailed it. Like I can see they're so realistic as that's who they were when they were younger. I'm probably gonna give it to Vera
Farmiga.
Vera Farmiga as Livia. Cause man, she got Livia down to a core. She got that down to the core. I think there was even something about the makeup department. They styled her to make sure that her facial features like match Nancy Marchand. Makeup magic and all that. And her accent even sounded like her. She even picked up on her speech habits.
She kind of floated a little bit. I will say she floated between Livia, Melfi, and Carmela, in my opinion.
Okay.
There was moments she definitely sounded like Carmela. Like I was like, damn, that's like exactly You know, but then again, you know, it could be like, oh, well, Carmela picked up some things from Tony's mother, so who knows? But yeah, but she bodied it anyway.
I agree with Rich. Her performance as Tony's mom was one of the best things about this series. That hands in a way was upper echelon acting portrayal as far as what we've known from the series, being Sopranos fans. So that's what I want to tip my hat to as far as this segment.
Well, I got Harold, but outside of Harold, Leslie Odom Jr., I also have Livia. I do like some of the portrayals of some of the younger characters, but I felt this character wasn't a caricature because we didn't get a lot of flashbacks with Livia. We got a few, but not a ton. And I felt like she had a lot of liberty to do what she did. And plus, there's just something about Vera Farmiga that is just, there's something about her that's just attractive. I don't know. It's something about her that like just draws me in, like all across the board, acting ability, looks, evil, good, whatever she plays, something that draws me in. So I really like her in general. So I would go with her. So we're going trips there.
All right, I ain't mad at you. I think we on to that. Mo, I'm gonna go ahead and let you start this one because I think you got the longest list.
I do have
things that bother you. Things that bother you.
I'm going to move through quickly because I don't want to hold us up. All right, first thing. This whole angle with writing and black people being a part of this film is a slap in the face because of how much he just doesn't get about us. So that bothers me. John Bernthal depiction of Johnny Soprano, it doesn't feel like the same father that we get in the series for so many reasons, but mostly the charm that I spoke about. When Seal and P are introduced, Hollywood already said what their names were, and he called them over to look at the picture of his girl, and then the guy asked again, what did you say your name was? Puss. And then they just linger. It's like, bruh, stop with the pandering. Silvio and P are grown men, and Tony is what, 12 years old. That's one. Literally the next scene we get this story about a donkey told by Hollywood, and they pan to Junior, and he says his most quotable line, "Sisters cunt," again with the pandering. That's twice. There's another thing I actually pulled it from the Reddit comment from 6'9" Fatboy 420 about Silvio. He was always bald. There was an issue with that. That's like not continuity. That's why I said this movie's not fully canon. He gives three things. He says, one, we see Silvio in the hospital. This is from the series. We see Silvio in the hospital bed with hair after being shot. Did the doctors keep Silvio's wig on when he was being treated for gunshot wounds? So that's one. Two, we see Silvio being wheeled out of the stretcher while he is suffering from an asthma attack. His hair appears sweaty and mangled from struggling to breathe, and he is wearing an oxygen mask. Why did the EMTs not take his wig off? So that's two. And lastly, three, we see Silvio awaken to answer Vito's phone call in the middle of the night with his hair. Does Silvio sleep with a wig? So those are yeah. So that continuity is off. Hollywood D has a twin. That's whack. That was just whack. I get Ray Liotta.
Hold on, talk about why is that whack? Now you just nitpicking, man.
No, it's whack. It's whack. It's whack. we should have just not got him. We should have just got the brother. Like, we don't need both of them. That's whack.
I think that was more for a thing. You know, Ray Liotta was approached to do Sopranos a couple times.
Right. Which I'm not mad at, but I like, you should pick one or the other. That was whack.
He said that's whack. Nigga, twins is whack, nigga. Hey,
funny. No. Doing that here, I'm saying whack in the sense it's cheap. Like, I got four more things.
You a funny nigga, man. I swear. You ain't nobody like you, Mo, man. You my dog.
I got four more things. That's crazy.
You my dog, Mo.
I'll boo it. That's why I boo it through quick. Who is Christopher's mother? Dickie's wife couldn't have children, but his Gumar could, and she doesn't make it through the movie. Okay. Leave that there. When Dickie's Gumar sleeps, okay.
I think that Miracle Baby.
Okay.
The mom ended up having the baby, like as we see when Johnny comes home.
Okay.
My issue was, is that Chris's mom?
Facts.
That was my first. That was my first question. But again, well, anyway.
Yeah, keep going.
When Dickie's Gumar sleeps with Harold, she says, "I thought it would be different with a black man," and she pretty much says it's all the same. Again, at every corner.
Is that what she said?
Yeah.
In a sense, yeah, that's what she was alluding to.
And so again, at every corner, trying to make us less than in this content. And you know damn well it was not the same. Stop playing, bruh. Like this is how I know you don't know. I like, bro, don't you play like this. She sleeps with Harold a few times. You're like, oh, it's still the same. That's still because that's some racist shit.
And she responded like it was different.
That's like, what I'm saying. And you're trying
don't
to
show us on screen. Don't show us on screen that she thought it was different, and then try to in the dialogue be like, oh, it was just the same.
Yeah, because you don't want to get. He don't want to give us no credit, bro. Last things. Dickie brings up that he coaches a baseball for the visually impaired.
A blind baseball team.
Hey, listen, this is go ahead, Bo.
For visually impaired kids, which isn't a problem, but this totally reads like what was going on in the 60s. Oh, they had this type of tech for the visually impaired. That would be a cool part to put in this film. Like again, you lost it, dog. Go ahead.
That was your last one, right?
No, I got one more.
Okay, go ahead.
Jeez. Hey, you put me first. Say that one on me. And lastly, they have the nerve to end it with a pinky promise from a dead man, and then they play the Sopranos song from A4 and Christopher Moltisanti's voiceover like they just explained something, like they just killed this movie. Bruh, there are a million unanswered questions with this movie. Knock it off. I can't believe y'all thought y'all hit the woke up this morning. Like, turn it off. You don't deserve that. David Chase, I'm sick of your shit.
Agreed.
The pinky ring ending was it was disgusting.
Nasty.
That was really nasty.
Disgusting.
But
I'm out.
I got two things real quick before I throw it over to Spike. One, I
don't even remember after all the shit Mo said.
Yeah, so that's cool. I'll just say these two real quick. I mentioned it earlier. The Frank Lucas, that just bothers me. Like to go over that, like that's. Do I want to call that racist? I don't know. But for you to depict Frank Lucas like that after, and here's the part that bothers me. Here's the part that's bothering me. There was a blockbuster movie with 2 Academy Award winners that highlighted the life of Frank Lucas. If you watch 30 minutes of that, you know that the outfit that you had him in, he considered that a mistake. He did not wear that on the regular. You think this nigga showing up to the horse stables?
That nigga had that on at a farm. At a farm, man.
Like David Chase, like that.
Chinchilla at a farm.
Now you. I feel like you trolling. Like now you saying I read everything on the Reddits about how I portray black people, and I'm just gonna go in even further because I was like, I know that ain't Frank Lucas. Like I said, that could have been Nicky Barnes, somebody known for that. There were plenty of black people who were in that world who were flashy. Don't make that Frank Lucas, bro. Had that man as a suit, a little bit more serious, whatever. The other thing was, ain't no way. I don't care what you do. There's no way you convince me that Dickie Moltisanti is out here volunteering his time to coach blind kids in baseball. Like, what the fuck
and them chanting his name like that.
1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 6, 8. What the fuck
you are saying
we talk about?
Because why would I do that? I have no reason.
Why? I know you wanted to do a good deed, but what the fuck are we talking about? That's the good deed that you do? You can't help old woman across the street. You can't do, you ain't got no neighbor that need help with the groceries. You're coaching blind or, deaf kid, whatever the fuck it was, man. That shit just stupid. Like, what the fuck is we on, man? Stop it.
Agreed. Y'all took all the ones that I would have said. Y'all took all the ones. I don't have anything to add. I think that was spectacular in the sense of what are we talking about?
Like, yeah, what are we talking about? Like it doesn't fit the fucking movie.
That's why I say you.
What a world! It don't fit the world at all.
What?
Stop! You're taking the comedy too far.
Yeah, come going too far with the comedy, man. Every time I think about that picture, the shot of
Hearing
the
the
ball
sounds
with
and
the
all
beat,
that,
like
yeah,
yeah,
bro.
just
Come on.
going, and the parents just like you're such a saint, like
This is
end
where you
this shit
drop
right
the
now.
title. Knock it off. I will
End
say
this
this real
shit.
quick sidebar. The person they cast as Janice, like teenage Janice, bro, that's spot on. She looked like Janice, bro. I
It
don't
was
know if y'all
good.
got a good look. I said she didn't have
No, it
a
was
lot of
good.
lines. She looked like Janice. I said,
She
oh my,
did.
this is why I said it should have been a TV series. But anyway, go ahead, Rich.
And I like the fact that they did, because like I said, in the show, Tony did mention, like, hey, all the boys will buy me candy and stuff because they were trying to get at my sister. Spike mentioned it earlier. They did a good job of showing that, oh, Janice was, like Tony described, she was one of them ones in the neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. But I'll never get over the blind baseball. I'm sorry,
That
man. That's
is
a
that
great deed, but it's so out of pocket and out of place.
because that's David
What are we
Chase
doing?
It
thinking like,
made no
oh, this
sense.
was
It
interesting
made
that was
no sense
happening
for
in
me
the
as well.
'60s. Like he was like, oh, let's introduce this. Like, knock it off, bro. Continuity. Like you think he's such a anti person that I think he just do this bullshit. That's what bothers me about. Y'all know how I felt about the documentary. You're so anti that when people tell you something that makes sense, you would literally go left at all costs.
I got a question for you,
That
Mo, just real quick. Just real quick. You didn't like the fact that Hollywood had a twin. Did you feel the same way about Patsy and Philly?
I really didn't like that either, but I didn't care. It didn't bother me. They didn't spend we didn't spend a lot of time with Patsy's twin. They did do it also with the Cusimano with the sisters. It was the same person, but they were twins.
Okay, I got you. All
But
right, fair enough. I just
again,
wanted to
we
know.
spent a short
I
moment with that too.
you watch Sinners. How did you feel about Smoke and Snack?
I haven't seen Sinners.
That makes sense. That's all I'm praying for, Mo.
I'm not tripping about that though. Like it's not. It's not. I'm not mad at like twins because, like I said, I grew up watching like certain things with twins. Like shout out to Lindsay Lohan, but it's just in this movie. It was like, why are you doing this? Like he kept making wrong decisions. Like we didn't even just give us the brother then. Like the father
If
could have already
anything,
been dead.
if anything, the one thing I will say, I didn't understand the pull that he had on that Sally had on Dickie. Like,
Facts.
why was it that hey,
I
you
don't
want to
even
do
know
a
you.
good deed, leave your nephew alone, and then Dickie took that to heart and literally ignored Tony. Somebody you adored and admired the entire film, all because this dude you just met a couple, however long ago. I guess it's been some years at this point because he met him in the '60s. He says, "Leave your nephew alone," and you're like, "All right, bet. I'm just gonna ignore Tony now." Like it was a little bit weird. Um, Last category before we get to the end. Wouldn't let that happen to me. Spike, you got anything for that?
um, the whole with Dickie and his chick going veering off to my guy. I don't, couldn't be me though.
Wouldn't let that shit happen to me though.
Oh shit, yeah,
That's
that's
funny.
the one for me.
Mo, you got anything?
Nah, everything feels like within the world. Even like set aside my critiques, everything feels within the world. So nah.
Only thing I got is if I'm taking Dickie Moltisanti's girl, you ain't about to lay down to me it's talking about something. It's all the same.
You know what?
Nah,
Yeah, I'm on that. I'm with you.
nah,
And I know I
nah.
just did. I
That's
know
not
I
even about
just
to.
did the service to
Nah.
you. Like
That ain't even
you
close to
ain't
your
telling me.
mind. Nope.
You ain't telling me this like everything else. Like
Nah.
Nope.
nah,
The
nah.
sounds you
Yeah.
just made.
Yeah,
Knock it off.
everything. You can't even say that
Knock
with
it
a
off.
straight face around me. You
Nah,
can lie to your
stop.
friends. You can lie to anybody else you want to.
Man,
Ain't no way
me
you
and you
saying
know
that to
what's
me.
going on.
Yep, you can't even say that with a straight face.
Yeah.
Facts.
We get to the end of the episode where we like to rate the movie. We're gonna do our Sopranos rating or Good Earners rating like we have, but I do want a number rating. Um, the average viewer rates Many Saints of Newark a 6.3 out of 10. Spike Lee, is that too high, too low, or just right?
I was gonna say 6.5. So I think that's just right.
6.5. So
Yeah.
just all right, bet. Mo, what you got?
It's like a 4.5.
Okay, I think it's just right. I think it's the acting carries it. some of the script is what really kills this movie. If you tighten up the script or you make it split it up like we said earlier into different projects, you're looking at a whole different thing. It also hurts that you promoted it as Who Made Tony Soprano versus hey, from the world of the Sopranos, we'll bring you this. If they just mention it like that, I guarantee you this might be at least a 7.
So y'all both saying this is above average?
Yes.
Yeah. It's not a terrible movie. I would watch it again. Why watch it when you have the Sopranos? That's the issue. You know what I'm saying? I'll just go watch an episode of The Sopranos before I do this. But it's not awful. It's not as, let me put it like this, Mo. It wasn't as bad as I remembered it from the first time I watched it. I'm like, okay, man, I get it. And that's kind of what I get at it. It's not as bad as
that's fair. It's as bad.
The only thing that was wrong with this movie is the direction of it. That's the only thing that's wrong with this movie. The acting was good. The storyline was okay. It could have been better if you exclude the riot stuff. But the only thing that was bad is the direction of it.
See,
if they had some different direction, it could have been really good.
Oh, absolutely. But see, that's why I with y'all saying that it's like this is not really a movie. This is a group of scenes compiled and calling it a movie. That's why, like, bro, I can't give it above. I ain't mad at that. It's shot well. It looks great, but outside of that, acting is great too. But that ain't enough when you get what you get. To me, this is a collection of scenes. That's why I can't put it above average. To me, this got to be at 5 or under. Like any above, this is not above average, bro. Like in my opinion. But again,
with that being said, I'm gonna toss it to you, Mo. Made movie, good earner, or just another envelope?
This is a sticky note.
Oof.
What?
Oof. He said it ain't even worth just another envelope. He said it's a sticky note. Man.
This is the dollar spent on your shirt.
Jesus Christ.
This is the birthday dollars spent on your shirt. Ain't no envelope, bro. Just pinned a couple dollars. It's my birthday today. Throw a dollar on the safety pin, bro. This is not even an envelope.
And when Chris said after I died, Tony gave my wife his pocket change. That's what this is.
Exactly.
I think Chris hated Tony, man.
Pocket change is crazy. This is your nephew. Pocket change is crazy.
From a baby, hated that nigga, man. Spike, what you got, man?
what was it? Just an envelope made or what?
Made, good earner, just another envelope. This nigga both funny as fuck, bro. I swear.
It's just another envelope.
Hey,
that
your nephew died. You reach in your pocket and say, "Here you go. I got something for you."
He got my pocket change.
From a baby.
Yeah, from a baby. Now you really hated
change, my nigga.
Yeah, man. You said just another envelope?
Yeah, just another envelope.
Yeah, in the world of Sopranos, it's just another envelope, man. It ain't got enough. We gave, hey, David Chase, if you're out there listening, man, we gave you the rundown on how to fix all of this. The blueprint, we know we're never gonna get it. They talked about doing a sequel. It is what it is. That's enough, man. I can't believe we spent so much time talking about Many Saints of Newark. But it was fun, man. It's always fun talking about Sopranos with y'all brothers. That's it. That's our episode, y'all. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Something to hold you over until we get Breaking Bad. Like I said, we're going to have some more Back of the Beans going on. Shout out to our guy, Chris Falone and Kiori. They'll be on to discuss the show with us, different things. Might do another bracket. Might have another Back of the Bean. Not a ton of things left with this being, June. We might give it a July episode, August episode, and that's really it. Then we're going to roll into Breaking Bad. So got a couple more things, and that's it. But we appreciate y'all, as always, for tuning in. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. Do not forget to subscribe to No More Half Measures, the Breaking Bad podcast brought to the three brothers coming to you this fall.
Yes, sir.
Follow us on Instagram. It'll be here before we know it. Spike, Mo, anything else before we get out of here?
Hey, man.
That's it for me.
Hey, man, remember, don't forget about it. That's it for me.
That's it. We out.